I have created my own hockey team, the Festive Hockey Club from Rochester. And today I will rebuild them for 25 years to create the greatest dynasty the NHL has ever seen. This is gonna be a long one, so grab a snack, buckle in, and let's get started. First, let me introduce you to the Festive Hockey Club, as I said, based in Rochester. I've put all of my professional design skills to work here to craft the perfect logo. A chicken laying an egg, but the egg is a puck. It's kind of high class. I don't know if you get the reference or the themes behind it, but it does mean something. And here are the jerseys. Red for home, white for away, black for alternate with some white gloves. Not only that, but we do have a mascot, Big Dicky. Where's number 9? Pretty big. He's a bird. He gets the job done. Let's take this team and build a dynasty. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. We will start with an expansion draft. We are... Oh my God. This has nothing to do with the expansion draft, but the rookie draft, we just moved up to pick number 1. Now, usually a rookie draft in an expansion in NHL 26 has pretty buns prospects, but we'll figure that out after the expansion. Right now, we get to take a player from every single team. Not just any player. Obviously, they can have protections, but I think given that we have the number 1 overall pick in the rookie draft, I'm probably going to take a young team not built to compete right now.
Andre Svechnikov, Michael Honor,
Thomas Harley. Draft done. I don't think I took the best option available every time, but I also just wanted to mix it up a little bit. Take some new guys. I'll go more into depth on who I took when the season starts and we have some lines drafted up. But first, we got to get to the entry draft where we do have the first overall pick. And we are going to be selecting a Salvador Kerzlaka? Salvador Kerzlake. Franchise medium right-wing sniper. This is the perfect way to start a franchise. No similar style, but he's NHL ready, A's in everything, no weakness, very passionate person, gets emotional at times. He is driven to win. This is our guy. We might have just picked up our franchise GOAT before playing a single game. Salvador Kerzlake. I don't have much data on anyone else, but Jesse Boyd, it says he's a long way out from playing 4 years, but he could also be elite medium and he is a playmaker. That would be great to put him next to Kerzlake, but that is kind of a bust of a pick. Usually these first drafts in an expansion aren't very talented because this is, you know, an entirely, like, this is the shaper year, but it's an entirely new class. The way NHL works is weird, but these classes are usually not very juiced. So getting a franchise guy at the top is kind of amazing, and that's probably all we're gonna get. That is pretty much all we get. Nothing great in the rest of the draft, but now we just head to the season. Before we start the new season, the first season, I'm gonna trade Matthias Ekholm, who is simply not gonna fit our timeline. 35 years old. I don't think we're gonna win a cup while he's still in the league. Maybe we could. Maybe we turn up really fast, but more likely it's gonna take a minute. I'm gonna go for Ryan McLeod, a two-way forward who I'm picking up to play first line, but even in the future, he could be great in a depth role or as a second line center. The trade isn't gonna go 1-for-1. I think we just gotta add a few picks. I'm gonna go 6th and 7th round pick, and that gets it done. Before we look at the lines, here are the captains, or the alternate captains, I should say. Harley, Broden, and Carlson. No C yet. All right, new franchise. We don't have a captain figure, but I have a feeling there's a young guy who might just earn it very soon. Here are the lines. Our highest rated offensive player, Andre Svechnikov, is centered by Ryan McLeod and joined on the other wing by Salvador Kerzlake, or Kerzlake. The hopes and dreams of this franchise are riding on Kerzlake's shoulders. On the second line, Kyle Palmieri, William Karlsson, two older guys joined by Cole Perfetti, who might be around for quite a while. Speaking of around for a while, I should probably put Kirby Dach on the second line. I've got him and Samoskevich along with Joel Farabee, all decently young. On defense, things look a lot better. Broden and Harley are honestly just a good defensive pairing, and Harley's going to turn into an absolute dog, I hope. On the second line, Kesselring and Mosier. Mosier, I mean, he's locked up for a very long time. I've got some good faith in him. He's 25 years old, 85 overall. He should be another staple of this team. Drysdale, we'll see where that goes. But overall, the defense is looking very nice. Not looking very nice is between the pipes. We've got a lot of things to figure out here. But first things first is getting some young offensive talent, I think, and getting as many offensive minutes as we can to Kerslake. We're starting off pretty strong, 4-3-1 right now, but I don't have high hopes for our very first season. Obviously, you've seen the lineup. Not really a playoff squad, certainly not cup contenders. However, I will say, I have a goal within the first 5 years to be in the playoffs at least once. Within the first 7 years, I want a cup. Given the way things are going right now, we might win a cup this season. Somehow we're at the top of our division, but that will probably change. We did not slow down. The season is about to end, a few more games left, and we might win 50 games. We have for sure clinched our division. As a quick reminder, this is our team. Kerslake up to an 88 already. Harley an 89 on defense. Again, we've got some good pieces in here, a lot of future pieces. Not a 50-win team, but we do win 50 games to start our tenure as a team in the NHL. We are the third best team in the entire league, and Thomas Harley goes at a point per game, 82 points for him as a defenseman. An absolutely absurd start, but it doesn't stop there. Like, we had barely any weak areas on this roster. Carlson dogged, Svechnikov dogged, McLeod 68 points, Palmieri Perfetti 61. I did not think I'd get that out of him. 31 goals out of our rookie. He led our team in scoring, put up 60 points, was plus 20. The only defenseman who scored more than him was Ivan Demidov, who might run away with the Calder, but Kerslake scored 31 and was plus 20. Meanwhile, Demidov was minus 19. I genuinely do not know how we've come this far. McDavid puts up an impressive MVP worthy performance, and Harley is probably not picking up a Norse this season, but he's definitely got potential to. He's only 24. I don't know how much making the playoffs is going to matter. We have the Avs in round 1, and while we definitely were a better team in the regular season, there are some people on the Avs who I'm not very happy to be playing. But when you go, 50 wins, come on, there's no way we're going out in the first round. We do get 1 win out of the first 3 games. I'm going to simulate the rest of the series. Hopefully we can make a comeback here. The bad thing about this, as we lose this series in 6 and lose in the first round, is that we do not get a good first round pick. For some reason, we come into the league and absolutely dominate the regular season, lose in the first series, and just throw away our chances at honestly what should have been, we should have been the favorites to pick up Gavin McKenna, but now we're going to be drafting who knows where. At least we know for certain we have some dogs on this roster. I said I wanted to make the playoffs within 5 years. We made it our first year. That's goal number 1 done. The Avs do go on to win the Stanley Cup, so at least we lost to the best, but that doesn't feel great. What does feel great is Salvador Kerslake. I'm calling him Kerslake this whole video. He wins the Calder as the best rookie in the league, gets a couple of bonuses for that, and we've got a bright future with him. I don't know if we're going to go back to the playoffs again, but first, we got to do the draft. My first pick is going to be the 28th. Not much scouting going on down here, but we do see that Beckham Edwards might be elite. It's unlikely, but I'm going to take a swing, and he's not. If he does hit the lineup, it's going to be in quite a few years. The rest of the draft did not go a lot better, but now we have an important job to do. Signing a couple of contracts, hopefully a couple long-term. First, Perfetti, $7 million for 5 years. I'm going to put a no move clause on this. I think Perfetti had a great season, so I am going to go with this contract. 6.15, 5 years, no move in the last 2. Send that out. I don't know how many other contracts are going to be that large. Jamie Drysdale usually asks for quite a bit. He wants 4.9 for 3 years. I have the money. Sometimes he turns into a dog. If not, there's no clause on it. We can always trade him. Michael Kesselring won 7.4 mil with a modified no movement, no trade clause. I mean, we had a good season. I don't see why I shouldn't try and keep as much of this together. So that's what I'm going to try and do, and just keep the squad the same. Maybe a little bit of progression out of our star, and we could be over the hump with lifting the Stanley Cup in in our first 3 seasons. But the goal is 7. 7 seasons to lift the cup. It was supposed to be 5 to get the playoffs, but we're here already. 7 to lift the cup, and then 25 to build the greatest dynasty of all time. I think the only player I'm going to pick up in free agency is Claude Giroux. I'm going to put a no movement on and crank the salary down. See if we can get a little bit more firepower at the center spot and good face-off taking too. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Season 2 of the Festive Hockey Club Dynasty. Not quite a dynasty yet, but on our way there for sure. We've got some nice progression from especially Ryan McLeod and Salvador Kerzlake, along with the new addition in Claude Giroux. But most impressive of all, Thomas Harley is a 92 overall now. He will be a huge part of this franchise's future, but he will not be the captain because I have just named the new captain. Kerzlake had a great first season. He's got heart. He's got exactly what this franchise wants. Brodin has taken the A off his jersey. He said, hey, give it to Salvador, okay? He's gonna lead this team. We trust in him. We trust in the next generation. That being said, if we don't make the playoffs this season, which we do actually have a team that could maybe reasonably make the playoffs this year, but if we don't, I'm ripping that C off his jersey. We're coming up on the end of the season, on the cusp of a playoff spot, but I think we're gonna come out okay. Yep, we just clinched it. Not as many wins as we had last season, but I think we're a better team, better equipped to handle the playoffs. Hopefully we can win a series, at least take something to 7. Last year didn't go too well, so expectations aren't super high. We have a lot of young talent, a lot of time, but winning now is always a good thing. Edmonton is who we have in round 1. Connor McDavid is going to be a series and a half. Before we get to that, let's see our individual performances. Kerzlake, 91 points, 53 goals, followed by Thomas Harley, 78 points. Claude Giroux, our new guy, 76 points. I did end up moving him to the first line because he was having a great season. He was playing the wing for Ryan McLeod, who had 69. Svechnikov's on the second line now. He played pretty well. And Jamie Drysdale had 56 points. Good performances all around. Obviously, Kerzlake is just becoming a dog. 53 goals is amazing. I don't think that's going to be enough for a Rocket Richard because Connor McDavid scored 77. I do have scoring on high this time, so we should see some pretty crazy point totals. But seeing, you know, the star of the team we're about to play putting up 77 goals and 145 points is definitely not a sight I enjoy. But that will not stop us from marching into Edmonton and taking on this team. They have McDavid, best player in the league, probably just went back-to-back in Hart trophies, but we have heart. We have a new captain, a new kid on the block. We win game 1, lose game 2, win game 3. We are ahead in this series. I'm simming the whole thing. Can we win our first playoff series? No, we cannot win. We take this series all the way to 7 and lose in overtime. The Festive Hockey Club is still looking for its first series victory, but we will have to wait another season. Before we start the new season, I've got a couple of extensions. William Karlsson had an okay season, but I think he's going to turn into our third line center from here on out. I'm going to sign him for as cheap as I can. 2.9 million with a full no move. Palmieri is next. He wants $3 million for 1 season. I'll take that deal, but looking at what I'm looking at in this draft, some of these players might get traded. Nick Perbix actually might be the one getting traded, $5 million. I don't think that's really worth what he's offering, and we've got a defenseman here and potentially a defenseman in the draft I'm going to pick up. Drew Hellison wants no money at all, so yeah. Some moves are going to be made here pretty soon. Colorado Avalanche end up going back-to-back, and I've been looking a little more into this draft class, and I think we can come away with some really big pickups here. We are in the draft, and I'm going to try and trade up to the 2nd pick. I don't know what it's going to take, but there are 2 franchise-level players in this draft, and to pick up one of them would be pretty nice. Should be a lot easier to get into the 2nd pick than it would the 1st. And if the players go in the order they say they're going to go, then I should get a defenseman, meaning I'm going to trade away some of my defensemen. I just signed Perbix to a new contract, and it's pretty expensive, more expensive than I think he's worth. And Kesselring is going to be playing 3rd line defensive minutes. and he's getting paid $7.5 million. I'm going to throw both of them in, a first and a third, and it's still not there. I think I might have to throw another first in here, which is completely okay with me. I'm going to start with a second next year, though. Still not enough. I'll move that up to a first next season, and we're still not at enough. I'm going to take the third out and go with a first in a future season, and we're going to be drafting not so great for quite a while. That is enough. We move up to the second overall pick in this draft. Skinner goes first, franchise medium player, and we have Landon DuPont, franchise medium defenseman. A great piece for this team. The reason I didn't want to trade my second round in this draft is because we also have a very good looking defenseman who's going to go in the second round, who really should be going in the first round. I'm going to try and trade up to the 41st overall pick with my pick and a third rounder. Actually, I think we can get away with less. I'm going to do mine in a fourth rounder, and that does get it done. I'm looking at Joshua Noonan. Elite low potential, but if you look at his stats right now, A's in almost everything, NHL ready. He's a gem. He's got an ability, a two-way defenseman who could play probably pretty well next to DuPont for a long time. That is a great pickup in the second round. I already took care of all my re-signings, so nothing to do there. In free agency, we have a cool $20 million, but I do want a lot of that because we've got Kerslake and DuPont when they come off their rookie deals. We're going to need that bread, but we can make a little move right now. I think I might just send out one singular offer for Thomas Novak. He doesn't want a clause or anything. I don't really actually want that many players because we have a lot of young players who do need ice time, but this guy is a really good defender. He's got 90 defensive awareness, which is great for me. Good discipline, good skater, pretty strong. I think he'd be good on the third line, and there's no clause on it, so I can always just trade him. But I'm only sending out one offer. If you go somewhere else, then just forget about it. He does reject. Okay. We're not signing anyone in free agents. New season, new lines. Well, same first line. I'm keeping Drew up there. He surprised me. He's 39, so we're not going to get that much more juice out of him, but I think we can bring him his first chip. It's kind of crazy that a guy like him hasn't won a championship yet. Andrei Svechnikov, 88 on that second line next to Kirby Dach and Cole Perfetti. I think kind of what's carrying us a lot is we've got a really good bottom six. We've got some nice vet presences on these lines, some good defensive two-way boys. I'm saying that, but Sam Miskevich is right here. He's very young. I want to see some more development out of Perfetti, but we might be done with him. Thomas Harley is a 93 now. He's a dog. He's going to be next to Broden for a few years, and then when he gets too old, I'm probably going to put him next to Mosier, and then DuPont is going to play next to our second round draft pick. Our defensive core, it's the best in the league. It's going to be the best for a while. I'm probably going to can Jamie Drysdale in a bit. We're going to see what he asked for. He does put up some nice solid point totals, but if he asks for a lot of money, like he's a third pairing guy. I just can't be paying him that much on this roster considering the talent we have in this defensive core. I did make one free agency signing. Scott Wedgwood is 35 years old, but he simmed like an absolute beast last season. I mean, he's definitely not been playing starting minutes, but we don't have a starting goalie, and I think goalie is something that recently I've kind of been out on. Just build a good defensive core, have a good defensive bottom six. Do we really need a good goalie? Because sometimes it's just a coin flip whether they sim well or not. This is the best team we built, playoff bound. I want to win at least a series. We've still got a couple of seasons before our Stanley Cup goal kicks in. We want to win a cup by season 7. This is season 3, but I want to at least win a playoff series. If we're getting the postseason, we might as well compete. We have clinched the playoffs with quite a lot of the season left. We are fighting for number 1 of the division once again. I don't think we're going to get it. The Mammoth are pretty dominant right now, and they're pulling ahead, but we're also a good squad. We've got some high hopes this time around. We did end up clinching our division, and we're 1 win off of the President's Trophy. Tampa Bay takes it, but Kerslake puts up 109 points along with 74 goals. I saw earlier in the season McDavid had a ton as well. McDavid scores 80. Still no Rocket Richard, but for a 21-year-old kid, not bad putting up 74. But McDavid is still king. He is probably going to end up with a lot of goals, over 2,000 points. You up that scoring in the sim, and it just goes nuts. Looking back to our squad, though, Harley puts up 100+ points as a defenseman. Excellent season from him. Just when I thought Landon DuPont might be coming to take his job, 100+ point season. McLeod puts up 81, almost at a point per game from him. Giroux, 74. Cole Perfetti, 68. A lot of good totals here as a rookie. Landon DuPont puts up 52. We go again and take a look around the entire league. Thomas Harley almost leads defenseman in scoring. He'll at least have he'll be in the conversation for the Norris. He had a far better plus minus, but who knows how the AI is going to pick that. Sandam Pellikka did outperform DuPont, although Pellikka is 23. DuPont did this as an 18-year-old. Don't know how they'll take that into account, but if I was voting for Rookie of the Year, I would give it to the 18-year-old, especially when their seasons are so close. But this was also the season that Gavin McKenna first hits the ice, and he scores 24. A lot of things up in the air. What is not up in the air is this playoff series. We have the Dallas Stars. We want to win. We've been to the playoffs every single year we've existed, and we haven't won a single round yet. If any year's our year, now is our year. We win game 1, win game 2, take game 3, and we pull off a clean sweep. We are actually here in the building now, okay? Our first time we went to the playoffs, we were a little bit fraudulent. Yeah, we were the first seed in our division, but we were a young team. We didn't quite have the sauce yet, but now we do, and we get a rematch against the Colorado Avalanche, who killed us in our first year, and our 2-time defending champs, and their experience shows. But we go all the way to 7 and mount a comeback. We went down 3-1 in this series, but win the last 3 straight and now get the chance to head to the conference finals and beat up on Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks. They beat us in game 1, but there's no way we allow this playoff. Oh, we go to 7 again. Chicago beats us after we beat the 2-time defending champs in a huge comeback. We cannot take that momentum into the conference finals. A slow start costs us the series, but at least we made it somewhere. That's only our 3rd season. We've got a lot of potential on this team. Time to head into the draft. We shouldn't have a lot to do in the draft. Again, I've traded away our 1st round pick, but I also don't think we're looking to win in the draft all that much anymore, unless we can get some low hits and some low rounds for some guys that are going to be in the league in a long time. You know, we're really setting up our future in the draft, not really focused about the now. We do have a huge contract expiring, a huge re-signing. I decided to wait until the signing phase. Krzyzlak, franchise high, the cornerstone of our franchise right now, 95 overall, 21 years old. It's saying he doesn't want to re-sign, and he wants a bag and a half, 19 mil for 7 years with a no move on the end. I think it's gonna be worth, simply because at 21 years old, he's only second to McDavid in scoring goals, and there's no way I can let someone like this go. So we're just sending out 19 mil. I mean, that's not the perfect contract you would love to see, but I think it'll probably be worth it for him. Remember, the cap is indeed expanding, so that will just be a smaller and smaller cap hit as time goes on. Brodin is also expiring. He wants just 1 year. That's okay with me. He's been great next to Harley. Love that guy. And then Claude Giroux also wants another year. 7 mil. I'll put a no move and crank the money down as much as I can to 6.2 million. Hopefully he says yes right away. He does. Kirby Dach is someone I was playing on the 2nd line. I think I was giving him a lot of minutes. 36 points out of him, 15 minutes a night. It depends on what he's asked for here, but we might just let him walk. He only wants 3 mil. I think we just let him walk. There's no need to keep Kirby Dach. Outside of them, no real other big signings going on. I should probably figure out a good goalie situation sooner rather than later. Looking at free agency, Austin Matthews is up here. We don't quite have the money. I might still send an offer out just because he's so interested. And because aside from him, I don't know anyone else I really want in the top 6, which is, you know, I'm looking for a little bit of firepower. I think I'm just going to send the deal out. Okay. We're sending my last bits of money to Austin Matthews. I'm taking the clause off, but he's got a lot of interest. We'll see what he says. Probably a no. Depends on how many teams are interested. He accepts. There's no clause on it, so when I have to re-sign DuPont or anyone else, I'm just going to trade him away. But for now, we've got Austin Matthews as probably a 2nd liner because he's also a goal scorer. He scored 70 last season, and now we've got him and Krzyzlak. Gonna have a lot of goal scoring on the squad. Before we head into season 4, let's take a look at some awards. McDavid has been killing it, 3 consecutive Art Ross and Hearts, and Harley picks up the first major bit of hardware. Krzyzlak did win the Calder, but Harley wins the James Norris, scoring 101 points as a defenseman and giving a solid defensive impact. Pellikka did nab the Calder from DuPont, though. He also won the Conn Smythe in his rookie season. Perhaps more interesting is Connor McDavid winning the Selke. McDavid just had one of the greatest seasons of all time. Rocket Richard, Ted Lindsay, Selke, best defensive forward, scored the most goals, MVP, most points overall. He's throwing himself into the GOAT conversation in this simulation, but we've got our own GOAT on our team. And right now, he is not playing with Matthews. He's still playing with Giroux and McLeod. They've had great chemistry on line 1, but Matthews is here to bring a little bit of firepower to line 2. Perfetti is developing. He's an 88 overall now. We've got some solid two-way players. I think this fourth line is absolutely nasty and disgusting and grimy. And on defense, Harley, a 94 overall, DuPont, an 89. Broden, his time with us is coming to a close, but Mosier is here to step up. 89 overall on a great contract for a minute. Unan is going to step up and play next to DuPont. Drysdale probably kicking him to the curb. We've got good things coming for this squad everywhere, except for between the pipes. I know I said I don't really think that highly of goalies, but we definitely need some type of goalie. Before we start the season, Ryan McLeod is expiring. I think I'm going to throw an extension his way. He wants 12.8 mil for 8 years. I'm going to take the clause off. He still has a lot of interest. In fact, I'm going to take the money down just a tish. And he's been great for us, so I'm going to give him his bag. Hopefully he can stay great for us. We tied the Rockets in our division for the most points, and we also tied them for the President's Trophy, 117. We had 56 regulation wins. Austin Matthews led the way this time on the second line. He put up an absolute performance and a half. Ryan McLeod off a new contract or new extension. New contract hasn't even kicked in. Puts up 95 points. Kuzlake puts up 93. A little bit of a step back from him, but this whole first line, all 90 plus points, especially from Giroux, who's now 41 years old. Very impressive. Harley's still dogging. DuPont is now up there with 75. Love everything I'm seeing from everybody. Doesn't really look like we're going to win any awards unless they're postseason specific awards. We did have the best offense in the league. Hopefully that can carry us and hold up. Again, Austin Matthews on the second line, dogging out. We have every single person on our first line, huge contributors. We should be able to tear apart the Mammoth in round 1. We've got conference final floor, right? Stanley Cup expectations this season. We win round 1 in 6 and have another matchup against Colorado, who are quickly becoming rivals for us. They beat us, we beat them. They've been to the top, we haven't. And it looks like Colorado is going to get the best of us. We're going to lose in the second round. This team has had plentiful regular season success, but we cannot get it done in the playoffs. We do have some very interesting decisions to make this offseason. I think my goal is to keep Austin Matthews at least for a few more seasons. We're not gonna be able to keep him long term, and probably only one more before we have to re-sign DuPont. But I think I can get this figured out and then make maybe just one trade in the draft. The Avs did go on to win that chip, but I've figured out a strategy, a plan through. I think we can only keep Matthews for one more season max. The plan is to trade Jamie Drysdale and Logan O'Connor somewhere for something. Jackson Lacombe, Jackson lock up Connor McDavid. Whoever I pick up needs to be kind of cheap, so it might honestly be better to just go for some picks in the far future. Can I get a first round in 2034 from Anaheim? It would have too many skaters. Let's also take someone we think would be great in the depth. Lucas Peterson, two-way forward, a lot of puck skills. Not a great defender yet, but he can turn into one over time, Lucas Peterson. And then one more guy, just as kind of a throwaway. It's not going to work straight up, but I can add some of my picks in here because I don't really need them. I'll throw a third in there to start. Still not getting it done. I'm going to add a fourth and a fifth. Still not enough. Okay. Second and a fourth. How about that? How do we feel about that? Oh my God, still not enough. A third in 2030. I'm really banking on this random first round pick in 2034 and this other center who's going to be great in the depth, but I need to be a little bit cheaper right now. So those are good moves in my opinion. As far as this draft goes, Roy Pratt does have some abilities and he's pretty low, so that's maybe a good pickup. 75, yeah, that's a good pickup. The drafts are nice. Again, a lot of these guys we're not going to see for a minute, but that's okay. An elite medium goalie in round 4 and not much else in the rest of the draft. Now that I've made those moves, I think we have enough money to re-sign everyone and run this back another year. This time I'm gonna have more progression on my guys, and then in the next draft I'm probably trading Matthews, because I'm going to need money to sign Landon DuPont. And Matthews, even though he's getting older, he should still be, bringing in quite a haul, which is good for us because I picked him up for nothing in free agency. Pretty much everyone is re-signed, running it back with a very similar crew. But before we start the new season, I've got a contract extension for Landon DuPont, his second contract, and he does not want that high of a price tag. He has been playing second line minutes, still lighting it up, but in the future, he's definitely going to be our number one guy. I'm going to see if we can get away with $12.5 million for 8 years, and that would just be a steal of a deal. He accepts right away. I love that deal. Harley's 28, 8 years older than him. At the end of his contract, we'll see where he is. But either way, we've got some nice pieces in the future. The rest of the guys, I don't know if we're going to be able to re-sign if we don't trade Matthews, but that's an off-season issue. Right now, let's take a look at these lines. Claude Giroux did retire. I didn't get a chance to look at his stats. We didn't get to win a cup with him. We kind of failed him. As a franchise, that doesn't feel good. Him and William Karlsson. In fact, before we look at the lines, I did give the other A to DuPont, so now it's Harley, DuPont, Kerslake. Those are our captains. A lot of the old guard is leaving us. We haven't been able to win with them. We are in our 5th season when we were supposed to be making the playoffs for the first time, but we've made the playoffs every year. We just haven't had enough success. We haven't been to the finals once, although this is one of the best teams we've assembled so far. I did pick up Will Cooley, was my one guy I picked up in free agency. He's always a great third liner in my opinion, very physical player. Hopefully he can put in some good work. I'm liking the way the lines are looking. Roden might be playing some of his last seasons for us here. And of course, I still haven't fixed our problems between the pipes, but we'll get that figured out, get that sorted out. We are on the way to becoming a dynasty. We don't have the postseason quite figured out. I said I wanted to be champions by season 7. This is season 5. We've got 2 more after this. I think we can win a cup. I think we can get it cracked down. And I think our dynasty will be starting soon. Our empire will be taking over. Not a great season for our standards. Didn't even win 50 games. 49 is not bad. And Austin Matthews puts up 123 points with 76 goals. Kerslake and the first line in general take a bit of a step. Well, not Kerslake, 97 points is just about on par for what he's been doing the last season. But with no Claude Giroux, Ryan McLeod only puts up 52 points. Not great to see that. We've got a few problems in this lineup, but I think the biggest problem is our goalies. We had the #1 offense, but like the 20th defense, and I think a lot of that is coming from our goaltending, which is becoming a glaring issue. I did draft a good goalie, but it's gonna be years until he gets to us, so we might have to do something to remedy that. However, if we look across the entire league, Austin Matthews did finally beat out McDavid in points and scoring, and is probably gonna be picking up an MVP and a Rocket Richard, ending McDavid's reign as the greatest player in the NHL currently for at least 1 season. As a quick reminder, here is Connor McDavid's trophy case. Still no cup, but 7 Harts, 9 Art Rosses, 5 Rocket Richards, 2 Selkies, and that's before whatever he wins this season, if he wins anything this season. For now, let's get into the postseason because we have the Oilers in round 1. McDavid had a worse season than Matthews, but how is that going to shake up in the playoffs? Going into the series, this might be one of the first times in league history, or at least in recent history, that Edmonton actually has the better goaltender. Will that be enough? We come away with a lead after 4 games, and we're going to take this series in 6. Into round 2, we see Vegas, not the Colorado Avalanche for once. Maybe we can make it back to the conference finals. Maybe this is our season, even though we don't have the goaltending. Our offense certainly has been deadly, but Vegas puts us down in 6. Oh my God. We really need to get a goaltender because what we have right now is not working. I'd hate to think that's the last season we're going to have with Austin Matthews, but it looks like that might be the case. I've done the calculations, and there's one real big decision we need to make. I can either trade Matthews in the draft right now and keep everyone else. I can do that, or I can keep Matthews and then I don't have enough money to re-sign Svechnikov. Trading Matthews helps me retain the most value I can possibly But at the same time, it's not like I really want to re-sign Svechnikov. He's asking for $12 million for 7 years. So honestly, I'm going to trade Matthews and Svechnikov. We're rebuilding. We're retooling. We're doing a quick retool. I don't think there's any franchise players available. Otherwise, I would trade for them. So I'm going to find a trade for Matthews in the draft. And then Svechnikov is no trade right now, so I'm not going to trade him. But I'm going to re-sign him and then trade him. And we're going to slightly retool. We have 2 seasons to win a cup within the goal. And I think, you know, this current core was kind of sloppily put together. I'm gonna rethink a few things. I don't know if this is gonna happen, if this is possible, but they're giving Macklin Celebrini slightly lower, just a bit lower than a full bar of trade value. Again, more than Matthews has, but it might be possible in some world for me to absolutely jack the amount of picks we put in here and also pick up Austin Matthews. I'm gonna start with 2 first rounders this year and next. There's no way they accept that. I mean, maybe 2 firsts and Austin Matthews for Macklin Celebrini. That's Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis level trade. The Luka one might be worse because I don't even know how many firsts were in that, and firsts are less valuable in the NBA than they are in the NHL, but that's a Luka Doncic level trade. Macklin Celebrini. Sometimes it just amazes me how this trade system works. It just does amaze me. Well, we're a retooled team, and we've just expanded our playoff window infinitely bigger, wider, huger, better, maxer. And Celebrini's on a way better contract. I do now have the money to re-sign Svechnikov. He wants a full movement. I'm just gonna defer it, and then as soon as I can, I'm gonna trade him. See if he agrees to 12 million. We're not gonna be able to re-sign every single player, but again, a lot of these are pretty minor pieces, and you know, given the piece we just picked up, it's hard to say we have a bleak future or that what I just did was not a good move. I'm looking into the contracts across the league for a trade, and this would be maybe even worse than the Suzuki trade if I can pull this off. But no, not the Suzuki trade, the Celebrini trade. But Nick Suzuki, for some reason, doesn't have that much trade value. He's on an 8-year, under $10 million contract. Of course, an ultimate 2-way defender. I think he had 100 plus points this season. He's 30 years old right now. This contract's going to go for a long time, and he's going to be very old. But I don't think there's any way that I shouldn't at least try and pull this off, especially given how the cap is going to expand. This would lock up my centers forever. All of them 2-way, good defensively and offensively. I think I'm going to have to add a little bit more, but I'm going to try and get a deal for Svechnikov or Suzuki. I mean, they're the same age, but they are not the same caliber of player. I'm gonna see if I can throw a couple of picks in here and we get the trade done. Nick Suzuki and Macklin Celebrini both acquired for Austin Matthews and Andrei Svechnikov. We've changed a lot. We've got a lot of defensively responsible centers now, and if any team was ever built for a championship, I think it was the team we've just built now. Welcome back to a new day. Before we hop into this season with our new squad and some new lines and some new moves, I gotta show you guys some history of what's been going on around the league. Let's pop the face cam away. It's been Detroit and Colorado for the last 5 years on the Stanley Cup. Austin Matthews was on our team last season, and he did win the Art Ross, but could not break Connor McDavid's heart streak. McDavid wins 3 Selkies in a row and his 5th Ted Lindsay in a row. He is quickly becoming one of the greatest hockey players of all time. Not even just that, but challenging GOAT status. Us, on the other hand, have played 5 seasons, and our goal of winning the Stanley Cup in 7 is becoming more and more tense and close. But if there ever was a team who could get it done, it would be this one. Celebrini, Suzuki, McLeod, some of the deepest, best 2-way, most responsible, and offensively talented centers of all time, or of all time of the centers who have ever been collected on one team in one period of time. Our defensive core is also legendary. The goalies are becoming a huge issue. Gavin Betts is only 22. You might be able to get something huge out of him, but he's not there yet. I don't know if you guys saw, but I do have Jimmy Sylvester. I'm gonna just call him Jimbo on that first line. He's 22 years old. He's coming off his rookie deal. I'm gonna do a little bit of a cheese here. I'm throwing 8 years at him for like $5 million. And I'm going to see if I can get this guy on a huge long contract, get some huge development, and get a steal of a deal out of him. $5.2 million he accepts. I'm also going to bring Will Cooley back for 1 season. And then after this year, we've got a couple of other contracts expiring. But let's just get into the season and see what we can do. I think this is the first time we've won a President's Trophy. I know we've been close before, but we won it, all right? And we won it by quite a big margin. We almost won 60 games. And Macklin Celebrini led the way with 101 points. Krzyzlake not far behind with 98. The guy just signed to a new contract, Sylvester. He's still only 83 overall, but put up 78 points as well as 42 goals, which led the team. 40 plus goals for every single person on that first line, by the way. Good performances all around. You love to see it. DuPont went negative, which is kind of crazy to see. It's his first year in his new contract, but he's got time to iron some things out. Between the pipes, we didn't get a great performance, but you know, we have a great defensive core, so things did work out pretty well. And in round 1, we have the Minnesota Wild. We're coming in here with the best team we ever have. We are not losing in round 1. We haven't made it to the Stanley Cup Finals yet. Those are our expectations. We split the first 2 games against Minnesota and then go down. Bounce back, even the series, and then lose again. We lose in 6. We can't get out of the first round. What is with this team? Why are we so fraudulent? That was our 6th season. And we're expected to win a cup next season at least. We've got some decisions to make this offseason. And honestly, I think I'm gonna have to sell some of our core pieces, go a little bit younger, not retool, but oh man, how do we keep losing? We're into the draft. My first pick is in round 5. I do pick up an elite medium goalie. It's gonna be a minute before they hit the roster though. I think honestly, I might have to trade someone in this draft. I just don't know who and for what. Huge blockbuster trade incoming. Salvador Krzyzlake for Gavin McKenna. McKenna is younger, signed to an 8-year deal for $10 million. It's a better contract. Krzyzlake is a better player right now, but I'm gonna be honest, he's not the player I thought he was gonna be. His 3rd season, he scored 74 goals. His 2nd season, he scored 53, and it's back-to-back 40 bombs despite playing with Celebrini, a great playmaker, and other playmakers on the lines. He's been shooting less. He's been less aggressive, and he is our captain, but he's been disappearing in the playoffs. So I'm gonna make a move. I'm gonna see. I don't know if this goes 1 for 1. It does go 1 for 1. Gavin McKenna for Krzyzlake. Crazy trade, but something had to change, and we're picking up a different player. Not much else happened in the draft, but a huge move, especially for this franchise. Time will tell if that was good or bad, but something had to change, something had to break, something had to give. Can't just keep running it back with the same talent. If they're not performing, then we got to make a move, right? Krzyzlake was our guy. He was our captain, but he's gone. I'm gonna go through off season here, grind this out, really focus on making a good team, and then I'll meet you guys with the final lines next season. Ladies and gentlemen, I have made the plans. I've gone through an ordeal, and these are the lines. But I gotta be honest with you, these are the lines after I've already simmed the season. So the season's done already, but here were the lines I was rocking. At first, I had Gavin McKenna up on the first line, but they kind of struggled. The second line struggled, not McKenna. And so I put McKenna down here to juice it up a little bit, and then I put Perfetti on line 1. Perfetti, his time might be coming up on this team. He's actually on a not such a bad deal, so maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping. But I do want to kind of do with some more young guys what I did with Jimmy Sylvester, because let's go to the stats real quick. He played very well. We went 47, 28, and 8, by the way. I think we were the 3rd seed in our division. Not great, not bad, but Jimmy Sylvester at 102 points as an 88 overall. Remember, he's still an elite low, but I mean, he's probably going to jump up. He just sims like an absolute dog. He's a playmaker archetype, and he took 324 shots. Genuinely just love to see that. Celebrini, by the way, more points after getting rid of Krzyzlake, right? 144 points, most we've had so far. That's a franchise record. No, Matthews had more, but that's the most he's ever scored, and he was also great defensively. I actually love this season out of Celebrini. McKenna, only 24, 92 points on the second line, driving offense like crazy. $10 million for 7 more years. By the way, this was the first year on the $5.2 million Sylvester contract. This might be the best contract of all time, but we're just gonna find out if that's true or not. By the way, I also got to show Harley some love. You'll see why in a second, but he, ever since he's gotten to Rochester and played for the hockey club, he's like over a point per game constantly, and he's a pretty good defender. I will say, defensively, we're not a good team. If you look on the right side of the screen, we had the #1 offense with 4 goals per game, and then 30th defense with 3.6. I think I gotta just stop ignoring the goaltending. I just gotta go after that. Another thing I forgot to mention, almost forgot to mention this, but you'll notice Edwards, Noonan, and Peterson, all 3 not in the lineup. I went with an RFA for this season, just because I didn't really think I should pay them the contracts they're asking for. I feel like if I sit them out, put them in the naughty corner for like a season, then I could probably scam them out of some contracts. That was a bit scammy of me, but this is the year where we're supposed to win the cup according to my goals, and we've made some big changes. Gavin McKenna's here, Celebrini's here. Our entire core is changed. The guy who was supposed to be our franchise GOAT, I sold him away. So a lot of things have changed, but it looks like we might at least come out of round 1 this time. We do beat the Chicago Blackhawks and Connor Bedard, who did take away an MVP from Connor McDavid last season. I don't know if I told you guys that, but he won the MVP. Next, we've got Minnesota, and we're in a tense matchup here, but we lose in 6 again. I do not know how we keep losing like this. Looking at the player, okay, this is good to see. I guess I haven't even shown you guys like any of the playoff stats, but Gavin McKenna, only 1 goal, but 17 assists, 18 points in 12 games from a guy we just picked up. That's great to see. Unfortunately, Celebrini was a little bit disappointing this playoff run, but I think we'll still be good. I think we'll have a good run eventually. Having Gavin McKenna put up 18 actually just has me ecstatic right now. I also forgot about Thomas Harley, what I was going to say. I didn't give him the C. I gave Celebrini an A, and we're going to see what he has. He's, I don't know who's the leader of this team, man. No one, because we're not winning in the playoffs, and that's who will be the leader. Whoever wins the Conn Smythe, I'll give this C. C stands for Conn Smythe. Just thought of that. I will say before we head in the draft, I can re-sign Cooley, who is like just my favorite ever third liner is having Will Cooley on my team. It's like the perfect role for him, and he's usually really good at it. I just love having him on the third line. No other re-signings until re-signing phase, where we're going to take a look at these RFAs. There was a franchise guy at the top of this draft. I thought about trading for him, but I just couldn't get the deal done. Wait, look at the bottom. The Art Ross Trophy went to Draisaitl, most points in the league, and then he retired. I got to start looking at retirements every year. I probably should have been doing that. I picked up 1 singular elite low that draft. Not much. A couple of contracts here. Maybe some valuable contracts, and also I'm firing my coach. First contract we got, Edwards, $3 million for 3 years. This guy's got potential. I can get that 3 flat. I actually love that deal. How about Noonan, $5 million for 3? I guess we can try that. He accepts right away. Peterson, 1.1 for 1 year. Yeah, I'll take that deal. Yo, I didn't view retirements. God damn it. I will say I'm not picking anyone up in free agency. We don't have that much money, but Jimmy Sylvester, he started as elite low. He's elite medium now, 89 overall for $5 million for 8 years. Or 7 more years. I want another contract like this. And look at what I can sign right now. Ryder Barry, elite medium potential, 82 overall, playmaker. He's 21. He's got some good stats, right? Good puck skills, good skating. He can definitely develop in some nice ways, but look at the contract I can sign him to. $8 million, 8 years for $1.5 million. Accepts right away. That's going to be the best contract in the league for so long. Here are the lines, ladies and gentlemen. I did put the new contract, Ryder Barry, on the second line. He's playing with Suzuki and McKenna, and I'm also noticing that I have a ton of playmakers. Again, Silverstone and Celebrini, I believe both scored more than 50 last year, but I think Celebrini's a 2-way archetype, and Silverstone's a playmaker, Barry's a playmaker, McKenna's a playmaker, Freddy's a playmaker. I would love an A1 goal scorer, but right now I'm really happy with the lines that I have. Hopefully Barry can get a Calder. That would be nuts. He's playing with McKenna. And on defense, I am changing things up quite a bit. Harley and DuPont on line 1. I've been doing each of them with a 2-way defender, but I'm going to see if we can just do some 2-way or some 1-way just domination. I mean, Harley is a two-way defender, and even DuPont has pretty good defensive stats, so it shouldn't really matter. One thing is between the pipes, I keep thinking that this guy's elite medium. He should be kind of progressing like nuts, but he's taking a little bit of time. I think I just played the time game because there's no need for me to rush. I know I said I wanted to be a champs by 7, but I'm stacking some pretty good contracts here. This is going to be an incremental increase for this squad. I do have a new head coach, Chris Knobloch. Hopefully he can bring a lot to this team. Holy, I can't even, usually I go over the stats before I talk to you guys just to like familiarize myself with them so I can talk them over. I up the scoring to high, and this simulation, I've told you guys that Jimmy Silverstein, playmaker archetype I was talking about, I don't have enough scores. He just scored 99 goals. That is the league record. 142 points, 99 goals. Him and Celebrini play like dogs. He shot almost 27%. Landon DuPont had 94 points. Thomas Harley had 88 too. It wasn't even like he took a step back. How much did our rookie have? Tyson Berry, 45. So not crazy for a rookie. In fact, I don't think he's gonna win the Calder. Probably not, but we should have an MVP. Are you Silvers? He almost had more points than any other skater on any other team, or more goals than any other skater had on any other team than they had points, which was Bouchard, by the way. The year after Draisaitl retires, he leads his team in points. And Kerslake, he is a dog, 100 points, but I sold him in lieu of Celebrini, Sylvester. I don't know why I keep saying Silverstar, and McKenna, who McKenna didn't play as good, but I think I made the right choice. We did win 62 games. It might have been like a new coach type of thing, because not only did we scored 4.6 goals per game, a whole 1 more goal per game ahead of the number 2 defense, or number 2 offense, and we were the 3rd best defense. So yeah, this should be a championship league. We just had a guy score the most goals of all time in NHL history, more than Gretzky ever scored in a season. 99, 1 away from 100. Holy, I'm going all the way past. I mean, I don't expect to drop games until we get to the championship. That is a first. Okay, we drop 1-2 games in round. Okay, we go to 6 again. I don't know if we won a series in 5 yet. I think we did have 1 sweep against Dallas. But I hate how close these series are. Like we just won 65 games. We had almost 100 goal score. Let's beat up on some teams. We do beat the Chicago Blackhawks. I think that was in 6-2. We've only been to the conference finals once. We are finally going back. We are winning most of our games, and it looks like we beat Anaheim in 5, and we are in the Stanley Cup playoffs, where Chris Knobloch promised he would take us. Maybe it was the coach this whole time. I was just using the AI generated coach they gave me because all his stats were good, but I will say his specialty was in teaching, and that's not good for a competing team. That is good for a developing team, so I probably should have ditched him a long time ago, and we are 1 game away from sweeping in the finals. Who is leading this team? I said I would make them captain. It is Sylvester, and he is also like 1 goal away from beating the all-time goals record in the playoffs. He is leading this team. How in the world is it even possible for a contract to be so good? We're scoring 4.75 games or goals per game in the playoffs. Sylvester, by the way, he's an 89 overall, and he's only 25, and he's on this contract. We'll have to see what Ryder Barry turns into, but that has to be one of the best contracts in NHL history. Simulating game 4, Columbus does go up to start, but we bounce back in period number 2 by Sylvester, and I believe that was Suzuki. Sylvester, by the way, I believe that was the goal that makes him the highest scoring player in a single playoff run. McLeod just scored another and another, basically just putting a dagger in on this game. I was thinking of getting rid of him, honestly. He's the highest paid player on our team, and I've got him playing 3rd line center. Jesus. He's not playing the role he should be, but I mean, with the contracts we have, we can overspend on a few places, and we'll be just fine. All right, time to bring this game home, our drought home. I will say I wanted to be the quickest team to ever win a championship from expansion to like becoming a team. I did want that, but I think I'm pretty positive Vegas beat us to it. Celebrini off the post. Not too beat up about it though. I think we're gonna be one of the better dynasties of all time, at least by the end of this video. They are bringing out the Stanley Cup. Chris Knobloch, welcome to the squad, man. I probably should have changed coaches so long ago, but he had like A+ in everything. I just should have made the scheme a bigger issue. I should have made a bigger issue out of it. Second line is out here. McKenna or Suzuki from McKenna doesn't go. They got a penalty. Are you kidding me? We've got another man on the ice. And the 6th man getting a goal, that's DuPont. Gets a goal after coming out for a penalty. 6th man on the ice, 3rd goal of the playoffs for him. Then we get the 3rd line out here. McLeod out here to end the game with a final face-off win. 10 seconds left. Just get the puck in and kill the clock. And we have our first championship in Festive Hockey Club history. Boys are celebrating, and it feels good. It feels nice. I don't know who's going to come out to lift the cup first because we have 3 alternates and no captain. I think it'll be the highest overall player, which I'm willing to bet is going to be Celebrini. But first, we got to see the Conn Smythe winner, which is going to be Sylvester because he scored the most goals in a single playoff run in the history of the NHL. Yo, Jimmy Sylvester is black. EA does not have AI generated player avatars. Did anyone in this video think Jimmy Sylvester was black? I've done a bit of simming, ladies and gentlemen, and we are in the draft right now. There is a franchise guy up available at the top, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna make a play for it. I'm gonna try and win the Stanley Cup, President's Trophy, and then draft first overall. Call me crazy, but I believe in myself. It might be time for JJ Mosier. I'm not gonna lie. 91 overall. He's coming off his contract. He's gonna ask for a bag. It might be time to divest a little bit from him and work for a #1 overall guy. Wait, they accept that? They just accepted that. They accepted that 1-for-1? I was gonna throw first in there for sure. Are you kidding me? This guy, Rick Rome, is going to have a full... I know the trade value is technically, it was greater for me, but look at what I just got in trade value. It's a full bar. Although he is another left wing. So I might, honestly, it might be better to just trade him. Actually, I'm going to leave him unsigned. Okay, stop. I'm spoiling. Let me cook up. Let me cook something up. Ladies and gentlemen, I've sent out a contract and I've set the lines. The contract was for Neil Ho, the goalie I've been waiting on. And if we go and look at what exactly is in that contract, well, you'll see that the 23-year-old elite medium goaltender, who's currently an 82 overall, just signed $3.75 million for 8 years. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our goalie of the future. I will say our future is not completely clear. Thomas Harley and Macklin Celebrini, both their contracts are expiring after this season. So we've got some decisions to make, but for right now, let's head into the season. And here are the lines. Sylvester coming off of a Conn Smythe, a Stanley Cup, a Hart Memorial, a Maurice Bouchard, most goals in a season of all time. He's staying on that first line. He's still got a lot of years on a great contract next to Celebrini and Perfetti. Same top 6, basically. Ryder Barry, upgrade to a 20, he's progressed to an 85 overall, and it's his first year of a $1.5 million contract. That's great. You'll notice that the franchise guy I just picked up, Rick Rome, is not in the lineup. On defense, I'm losing some pieces, but we still got our top pairing, and we've got good defensive players on the rest of them, except for Carl Hansen, who's not very good. Overall, this should be another very successful season. 13-5 is my record. 133 points, 2 off of the all-time record in the regular season. Not bad, if I do say so. We did win another President's Trophy. Of course, last season we had a great year. This year, we had another good year. Celebrini with 118 points. I will say Sylvester went from a 99 goal season to a 99 point season. Again, not too beat up about it because he scored 51 goals on $5 million contract. Speaking of good contracts, 72 points from Ryder Barry. Genuinely just love to see that. Gavin McKenna had 110 points. Again, we traded him for Serge. I'll show you in a minute. Landon DuPont, 100 plus points as a defenseman. Another great season for the fellas. And if we look across the entire league, I mean, we're not going to get probably that much hardware. Austin Matthews led the league in scoring, and Robertson had 73 goals, but we might end up with a Norris because DuPont is the only defenseman with 100+ points. Either way, favorites for another cup, and in round one we have the Predators, who currently have Kerslake on their team. He scored 86 points. Traded him for Gavin McKenna. McKenna scored more points than that, and he was on the second line. I don't think we are going to lose to the Predators. Our team should be vastly superior, but we lose game 1 8-1, and we lose game 2. We need to bounce back and build some momentum. We win the next 2. No team has won at home. It goes all the way down to game 7 and we lost. Kerslake gets his revenge. We just had 133 points and lost to the lowest seeded team in our conference. That is bad. I got a lot of things to do this offseason. Well, this is going to be one of the last off seasons I skip, but I really want to lock in here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about. I skipped the season again. Last time I'm going to do that, but let's just look at the lines I was running for this season. No surprise, they're quite similar, but I did make a few trades. Sam Askevich and Ryan McLeod are gone. In their place, Parker McMillan and Jonathan Lekiramaki. They're on the squad. They've got some better contracts. We've got one of the craziest offensive cores of all time. As with all like 25+ year franchise builds and stuff, it gets to the point where defensive contracts become kind of crazy, and we're kind of getting to that point. I re-signed Thomas Harley and I re-signed Macklin Celebrini. Harley, you just saw, was for 14 mil. Macklin was for 19 mil, which I thought I might have to trade him because that's just a huge amount of money. But keen-eyed observers might notice in the bottom right, he had a pretty good season. Not only did we win 62 games, but Celebrini had 144 points, followed by Sylvester, who had 138. DuPont, as a defenseman, 133, almost 100 assists. We've got a ton of talent on this squad. Boys are playing very well. One of Celebrini or Sylvester is probably going to win the MVP. And I think I showed you guys this, but let me just make sure. Our goalie right now is Neil Ho. He didn't play like tremendous this season, but again, we do have the scoring turned up, so the stats just aren't going to be as pretty regardless. But he is on a contract for $3.75 million for 8 years. Great contract. Round one, we got the Chicago Blackhawks. We have the best offense, the best defense, some of the best everything. But we've only won one Stanley Cup in this video. We've been in the playoffs every single year, but have only been victorious once. Can we turn that to twice this season? I'd say we have a pretty good chance, but anything can happen, as we've seen. We get a nice clean sweep on Chicago in round one. Colorado's, who we got in round two, they've gotten the best of us a few times, and they definitely have a lot of championship tenure, but we are in a different era. The era of the Festive Hockey Club has arrived. We beat the Colorado Avalanche and then faced the Dallas Stars, who do not... We go all the way to 7. They did pose a bit of a problem. We go to 7 with them, and now we've got the New York Rangers. Back in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have not lost in the finals yet. I'm going to sim the first 3 games, and we're down by 1. If we lose these next 2, it's over for good. But we win both, 1 game away from our second Stanley Cup, and we take it in 6. 2 cups in 3 years. I think our dynasty is officially beginning. Before we look at the regular season awards, Sylvester might have brought home his second Conn Smythe. 20 goals for him. McKenna also had a great playoff run though. Celebrini, 19 points. Is honestly a little bit underwhelming for him, but I mean, it's hard to complain we had such a good run. Ryder Barry was over a point per game in the playoffs, and he's getting paid $1.5 million. We've got some crazy contracts going on, but who won the awards? We did win the Stanley Cup and our 3rd straight consecutive President's Trophy. Individually, Celebrini gets the Art Ross and the Hart. The Norris goes to DuPont. We got the 1, 2. Are we going to get every single award? No, we don't have the Calder. Celebrini also wins the Lady Byng. Sylvester gets his second Conn Smythe. No Vezina, but we do get the Jennings. No Bill Masterton. No Selke. We haven't won a Selke yet. Ted Lindsay and Maurice Rocket Richard. Basically, most of the awards go into our team. One of the greatest seasons in NHL history from a team. The only mark was we did go to game 6 and 7. So not a flawless playoff run, but we won all the games we needed to. We got all the awards we needed to. I don't even know if I mentioned it. He was right there in the lines, but I also did pick up Travis Konechny in free agency. And we still haven't even put in our young Rico, whatever his name, franchise guy. He wasn't even in the lineup. So we've got some good things going here, fellas. No big plays to make this draft. I'm just going to go through, try and pick up some more steals, some more guys I can get on some great contracts. That has been my winning move so far. Round 1, last pick, I pick up an elite low center sniper. So that's the guy right there. That's a great pickup. I'll say this. Our scouts have been on one with some of these prospects. As far as contract works, we do have Edwards and Noonan both expiring. They both kind of want a bag. I think we're just going to RFA them again and bring in some other guys. I just really want to avoid overpaying. I mean, $8.7 million for Noonan, who's a defensive guy, doesn't light up the score sheet, doesn't play crazy, and he's not been playing crazy. That's just an absurd contract. I think the only person I'm not bringing back is Konechny. They're 38 and they want a 2-year deal for $3 million. I'm not sure it's going to be worth it. So we're just going to hit free agency, maybe pick him up there, see what the market thinks, and get ready to try and win consecutive Stanley Cups. I will say Krzyzlake is hitting free agency. We should probably, let me read up on his career. He's been doing similar things. I think I traded him for Gavin McKenna. I got to say, McKenna's been playing second line for me. He's been putting up more points. And my big issue with Krzyzlake is he's a sniper who hasn't really been shooting more. So, you know, he was supposed to be the franchise GOAT. He was supposed to have a statue. But it looks like McKenna might get a statue. At the very least, probably Celebrini. Or maybe Sylvester, who will be the franchise GOAT. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the lines. Rick Rome is playing the first year of his entry contract, 20 years old, 94 overall. He's going to be on the second line next to Ryder Barry, who I've had on the wing. He's our, $1.5 million contract. However, he does have 69 faceoffs. Hopefully he can develop that over the season because I obviously want him on the second line, but we might be fine because Perfetti is on the last year of his contract. His extension is looking pretty pricey. I don't know if I want to pay that bill, so I might end up just selling him. Barry goes back to the wing. McMillan goes back up to second line center. Suzuki, by the way, been facing a little bit of regression. I think he was playing third line last season. He still plays amazing. Maybe not worth his contract, but I'm very happy with my centers here, except for Barry, which I just talked about. But this is his first year at center. On defense, I think things look pretty good. I did put up some nice contracts. Noonan did accept the qualifying offer. I got Shannon Erie for $4 million for 6 years, which in a while will be a great deal. He's a pretty good defensive guy. I also got Adrian Sergro for 2.1 for 4 years, and then Ricky Heinrich 1.6, 2 years. Getting some good pieces around my guys. Thomas Harley's seen a little bit of regression, but he's still fine. 34 years old. Everything is looking great. We're looking like we're ready to go back to back. I've been thinking about it for a few seasons. I did decide to put the C on Celebrini. He's been my first line center, one of the most responsible defenders and one of our best offenders. Just a great tone setter for the squad. He is our leader. We have beaten the Boston Bruins record of 65 wins and 135 points with 66 wins and 137 points. This is the best regular season team of all time. Over 10 wins above the second place Detroit Red Wings. Sylvester, another 140 plus point season. This time, not even all built off of goals. 77 of those. Is that back-to-back 77 goal seasons? Yes, it is. He's followed by Celebrini, who put up 122, and then DuPont, who put up 120. DuPont is becoming one of the best defensemen of all time. 300 plus point defenseman seasons in a row from Landon DuPont. Almost 120 this one. Our rookie Rico Rome puts up 82 points in his very first season. He is 20, but I mean, we're just like that. We're just that good right now. I will say Thomas Harley is regressing a little bit for the first time in a very long time. He is well below a point per game with 57 points, but he was still plus 56. Neil Ho also played very well, obviously led the league in wins, but he only played 61 games. significantly less than everyone else you're going to see leading in wins. Pretty safe to say we've got one of the best teams of all time. Charlie Fox, however, 91 overall left wing in New York. He put up 144 points as well. I think Sylvester had more goals, higher plus minus, and he did play a little bit worse defensively though. So I mean, that'll be an interesting MVP race. Connor Bedard also scored 77, but Oliver Tomastic scored 78. We're not even going to win the Rocket Richard. People are lighting up the score sheets, but only one team is truly breaking records right now, and that's our team. Our team is breaking all-time records, and I'm simulating through the playoffs all in one go, because we are going back-to-back. Although we do lose our very first game, that's not going to stand. We're not shaken so easily these days. We're not a new team on the block. We take round 1 all the way to 7, and guess what? We're still not shaken. Yeah, maybe that went a little bit further than we would want it to, but it doesn't matter because we have heart in us. We go to game 7 again, but who cares? Connor Bedard's not going to stop us. The Blackhawks aren't going to stop us. Vegas is not going to stop us. We beat them in 5, and we've got a rematch against the New York Rangers. I believe we faced them last year. This time, oh my God, this time they beat us in 5. We cannot go back to back. That's our first Stanley Cup loss. What's his name? Fox, who might have been robbed of the Hart Trophy, gets his revenge in the postseason. He'll probably take home a Conn Smythe, and we do have a rival for the first time, a real rival across conferences. We lose in the Stanley Cup Finals just after we beat them. We won our 4th President's Trophy. Connor Bedard snags the Hart. He wasn't even on Chicago. He's not even on Chicago. He's on the Red Wings. DuPont wins his 3rd consecutive. James Norris. Rome wins the Calder. That was pretty obvious. Yakimchuk wins the Conn Smythe. Got a few things to bang out. You know, we won 2 cups in 4 years. So, I mean, we're still a good team. We just broke the points record, but this team is not perfect yet. I do have a plan in this draft. It's all going to hinge on who gets picked before pick number 13. My guy's still on the board. I'm trading with the Lightning up to pick number 13, and we are going to say goodbye to Perfetti. He's been with the team for a long time, but his time is over now. I'm going to take their pick and Rob Pronger. Pretty good defensive defenseman. Just throwing another prospect in here, a center. And does that go straight up? No, but I'm going to add... Actually, I'll just take the prospect out. And that does go. Okay. Cody Vandermeyer. Elite medium playmaker. He should be a ways away from the league, 67 overall. But I have a future for Vandermeer. Next, my actual first round pick, second to last. I think we're about to take a bit of a steal. 77 overall, top 6, maybe a steal. Could be a good bottom 6 guy in the future because he's a grinder. Not exactly looking at some high offensive output there, but probably a good pickup. Not much else in the draft. Got a chance to re-sign Chris Knobloch and then re-sign some players. The only real contract I have to sign is Joshua Noon. And I'm just gonna give him 8.8 for 4 years. No clause on it. The defensive market's gonna get pretty brutal, but I think I've got some good prospects coming up. I can spend that money, I hope. We shouldn't really be in any huge trouble until Landon DuPont starts getting older. In free agency, I do see a guy I really like, Dylan Cousins. I think he can be a great 3rd line center. He's kind of like Will Cooley, very physical presence. I think he'll fit in just nice, just fine. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what we got. But before I show you those lines, I'm gonna take a trip down Tendy Lane. We do have 78 overall Victor Love, 25 years old, encroaching on a decent backup. I put him on 2.2 mil for 8 years. If he can just progress a smidge more, I'm gonna throw him in as a backup right here. Neil Ho, he's not developing super well, super great. He has 2 Jennings, but that's thanks to our wonderful defense. I just want these guys under contract for a long time. Some of our goalie prospects we drafted a long time ago. As far as our offense goes, though, Perfetti's gone, obviously. I'm putting Ryder Barry on that first line where he was, and then Sylvester on that other wing, centered by Celebrini. Celebrini's the only real, like, overall dog in this line, but it works out every time. Sylvester sims like a dog. Celebrini plays like a dog. On the second line, I've got Gavin McKenna and Rick Rome, my franchise guys, centered by Parker McMillan. Going down the depth chart, we have Dylan Cousins and Will Cooley and a Lekirimaki. I really like this third line, and I also like my fourth line. Suzuki is getting very, very old. 77 overall, but I'm keeping him on the lineup. On defense, Thomas Harley's also getting old. He's an 85 now. Things still look great. I'm still pretty confident. I would like to win consecutive Stanley Cups. I would like to win a bunch of times in a row, but I don't think we peaked with the most regular season wins of all time. Bit of a down season for the Festive Hockey Club. Only 55 wins. I believe we were second in the league. No President's Trophy. Celebrini, 130 points, 66 goals. Perfetti's gone. Maybe we took a little bit of a step back, but I mean, still had 4 players with 100 plus points. One of them was DuPont. His 4th season consecutively with 100 plus. Not too bad. Definitely have a chance at the MVP here, but 74 goals from Thomas Stick. Probably going to him, but that's fine because the Stanley Cup's been going to us, all right? The Avs in round 1, we've had their number for a long time. All I'm worried about is New York. Who are we going to see in those finals? We beat the Avs in 5, and I don't even know I'm doing this series by series. We just got to go to the end. We're too good of a team. Oh my God, we just lost the round after I said that. The Blues beat us in 7. Why can we not be considered? You're the best team in the league right now for like years and years and years. We had the experience. Why are we falling short in the playoffs, fellas? Damn, we were like, what season was that? That was season 12. We're damn near halfway through this, and I have 2 cups. We got to lock in and have a serious good second half if we want to be, you know, the greatest dynasty of all time. The Rangers win and go back to back, and we aren't even there to challenge them. All right, I'm locking in this offseason. We're skipping. I know I said I wasn't gonna do that anymore, but we don't have any big moves, any big contracts. I'm locking in. Before we look at the lines, let's look at the trophies. Celebrini does pick up another Art Ross and Hart. 4th consecutive James Norris for DuPont. I mean, he's going to have a case for best defenseman of all time at the end of his career. Caulfield picks up the Conn Smythe. Celebrini gets another Ted Lindsay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have probably one of the most important seasons that we will ever have right now. Here are the lines, most notably Charlie Fox, the former New York Ranger, who at one point put up 144 points. I've procured him in free agency for the sum of $17.5 million. There's no clause on it, and most likely he's getting traded because this season is not so important because, oh, we have to win to really kickstart this dynasty and all that. We need to win. It's important because Lana DuPont, Gavin McKenna, Rick Rome, all of them, 3 franchise level players expiring in the same season. All of them are going to want a lot more money than they're currently being paid. There are some very difficult decisions I'm going to have to make at the end of this season, but I'm gonna save those to the end of the season. Let's go and really break down what I've got for lines. The new addition was, of course, Fox. There's not much else going on that I think you need to know. It has been a minute, though. I also brought up Vitalium in free agency, a nice 2-way forward. And the 4th line is now kind of what my 3rd line was. Cousins is still here. He's a bruiser. In fact, let me just go into the stats. Look at the physical section over there. Look at the stars. 5 stars. Okay, they're getting a little bit old, Cousins and Will Cooley are, but extremely physical 4th line. They are all power forwards. Some of them are decent at defense, but mainly they're just here to beat people up. On defense, things don't look pretty, but again, the contract situation is going to be getting out of hand. So having even this level of core this late into the franchise is pretty good. Between the pipes, I kind of thought we had things figured out with these contracts, but I'm not going to lie. It's not been getting much better. I do still have other young tendies coming up, so we should be fine, but we do have very important contracts. Again, we're waiting till after the season to get them signed, though. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the draft. I'm going to do the draft first. I have a trade plan in the draft, and then I'm going to go to some contracts. I've already signed a few contracts. I'll recap them. But first, I got some plans for this draft. I'm going to trade Fox for the 6th overall pick to the Nashville Predators. It doesn't go 1-for-1, but I can throw a couple of my picks in here, and I think we're pretty close. I'm going to do the 3-4-5 method. Still not there yet. I'm going to throw a 3 in from next season. Okay, let me just get the pick value right, and I'm going to cut to that. Trade done. I need to throw a prospect in there. And I'm picking up Travis Pacioretty. 2-way forward, elite medium. He going to be a dog. eventually, but we're going to try and get him on a good contract. I had my first contract written up, Rick Rome, franchise medium. This is first contract post-draft. I'm going to recap some other contracts. I'm going to try and get him for 15.1 for 7 years. It's going to be close. He's got a lot of interest in the org, but it's not that close to what his value should be. First, the DuPont contract. Got him for 20 mil for 6 more years. I think he'll probably be worth it. One of the best defensemen of all time. I already showed you McKenna, but I've also got Parker McMillan, who I put on 11 mil for 3 years. He's been playing pretty well. Pretty good center. Next, I put Dallas Skilla. Got him on 1.9 for 8. I'm hoping that can turn into a steal. I don't think I'm going to re-sign Lekermaki or Vituluma, but I think I'll be fine. Although Rome does reject my offer, I feel like I'm gonna have to just adjust a little bit. I could just qualify real quick. I'm gonna do some negotiation with Rick Rome. I think we might be saying goodbye to Thomas Harley. I've qualified Rome. That contract didn't quite work out, and so we're gonna have to play the long game. Are you serious? Holy shit! Rick Rome was offered $26 million. Holy shit! I don't have that much money. I'm just gonna get the Ducks next 4 first. I don't think he's worth 26 mil. I thought there'd be no way. He was only asking for like 18 and I had like 20. I thought I would have space to match, and then I thought I've just lost him. Is that worth to just take it just simmed it. I didn't even get the chance. I pressed resume, not stop. Are you fucking kidding me? I didn't have the chance to stop the simulation. I just lost Rick Rome. I'm gonna have to study how good the Ducks are. Lines time. Celebrini first line. Gavin McKenna first line. Dallas Skilla, 78 overall. We're putting big money on him. First line. Sylvester, the OG GOAT contract, 5.2 million last year. This is his last season on that contract. I'm putting him on the second line. Hopefully we can retain him, but we'll see. Defense, same stuff going on. Rest in peace, Thomas Harley. GOAT franchise defenseman for now. GOAT retired franchise defenseman, but DuPont is the GOAT. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are missing our young franchise guy. That sucks, but still 51 wins. I think we were about 3rd in the league. Celebrini has an MVP worthy season, and so does Sylvester. In a contract year, I put him on the second line. With this season in particular, I think everyone should know that he's not just a first line merchant. He's not a Celebrini merchant. 88 goals on the second line. That's nice. McKenna puts up 123 and DuPont 122. That might be his 6th consecutive Norris he's picking up. He is quickly putting himself in top 3 defenseman range. In round 1, we're going to have the LA Kings. I think this is our first, pretty good chance at going back to back. Our squad is a little bit diminished thanks to a blunder from me in contract signings, but I think we have a chance to get our first consecutive titles here. Although round 1 goes to 6. That's a pretty decent chunk of a series. Hopefully we can pack up the Stars in round 2 a little easier, and we do. That's a clean sweep, and now we've got the Anaheim Ducks. This is a revenge match. Rick Rico, I forgot his name already, but he is going to take revenge against us. His former squad, and he beats us. They don't win the playoffs, but Rico, I think his name was Rico, I already forgot. He spins the block. We wouldn't pay him his money, and that's what happens. Damn, that's fucking poetic. I wish he was on my team. I'd be a lot more hyped. I'm about to begin the draft. I have to trade one player away so I can at least re-sign Sylvester, because again, I'm not letting that guy walk, even if he's not staying on this team long term. I can't let that amount of trade value walk, and he's asking for $26 million. So I do need to make one quick trade. I'm going to trade with Seattle Kraken for Vincent Dagnault. Right-handed defenseman. He's got a little bit of potential on him, and I should be able to re-sign him before next season starts, meaning I could potentially get a good contract, and if he pans out, that would be great. I'm going to give up Noonan, who is a good defenseman. He's been great for us, 88 overall, but he's on 8.8 mil for 2 seasons, and after that, I'm guaranteed he's asking for 10 plus mil. The defensive market gets really tough, so banging out these good defensemen for good deals is going to be super advantageous for us. I would love it if I could also get another first round pick out of this. I don't know about getting the first I can't get the first next season. I probably should have got more out of that, but we will have 3 first round picks next season. I still have 2 this season. Remember, I lost Rico Rome to the Ducks, I believe it was, and they gave me 4 first round picks because he was RFA. However, the Ducks are going to be pretty good those years. They are actually one of only 2 teams who had a worse pick. The Ducks pick is this one right here, pick 32, and then Flyers are the only ones with the worst. We got 2 of the worst picks in the draft, and they're going to be pretty bad picks, but we should be able to do something with them. I think I'm actually just going to take my picks and look for some good prospects. I think I've been pretty good, you know, developing my guys, and they've kind of been like the underrated guys have really helped me win championships. We're gonna build off of that and just take a bunch of prospects. Well, yeah, 71 overall, elite low, second last pick in the first round. It's not bad. And we have a confirmed elite medium just falling into our laps. If anything, that's just a ton of trade value. There's really one contract that we are worried about for re-signing, and that is Sylvester. $26 million and a no movement clause he wants. I'm gonna just take that off, give him what he's asking, and I think our time is coming to an end. He's gonna get back to us, and he does accept. This is probably the last season we're gonna play with Jimmy Sylvester. I gotta say, we're a little bit over halfway through these seasons, and I think it's been a little bit disappointing. I've been pretty cutthroat as a GM. I've been handing out a lot of terrible contracts that people are kind of getting scammed, not paid worth their value. And I've also been shipping out players that have given their heart and soul to the franchise. So you do what you got to do. And I'm going to keep doing that. And if we don't win a ton of Stanley Cups, maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's not the coaches. Maybe it's on me. I've done everything. Before we go look at the lines, though, I'm going to show you guys the contracts I've kind of been cooking up behind the scenes. Some of these you know about. For example, Dallas Skilly played a lot of minutes last season, up to an 83 overall, $1.9 million. Hopefully you can be a big part. I think I've said retooling a couple of times. I don't believe in retooling in real life. I think you just got to tear it down at some point. I think we might have to tear some things down. I will say these contracts are great, though. I've got a lot of great defensemen here that are young and you can turn into something great. This isn't all. I also have in the system the guy I just traded for, Dining Yalt. I also have Bumgardner, Nightingale, Spooner. A lot of defensemen on a lot of long, cheap contracts. Even if we don't hit on these, it's low risk, high reward. We're also in Celebrini's last year of his current contract, so I think we got to tear some things down, ladies and gentlemen. The lineup is still good. We can definitely still win some Stanley Cups with this roster. The defensemen look bad, but like defenseman talent overall really does degrade in the sim. That being said, it's still not great, but we still should be one of the best teams in the league. Playoff hopefuls, cup hopefuls. After this season, though, I might make some big changes. I don't know what's going on. For some reason, I think, man, we're starting to slip. There's maybe some cracks showing, and then we win 66 games, 136 points, second most all time, only behind ourselves, along with a 159-point season from Gavin McKenna. And it's like, what was I thinking that this roster is still not goated? How have we only won 2 cups in damn near 15 years? 150 plus points from McKenna and Celebrini, their 2 best seasons. Sylvester, 88 goals, and he will be leaving us this season. This is his last season. This is his trophy case. I can't pay him $26 million. Landon DuPont, 124 points from him, 111 assists. He's going to win another Norris. He's one of the best defensemen of all time. How have I taken this group of people and only won 2 championships? Nope, 3. Okay, I just checked my notes because that even felt wrong. I've won 3. I've won 3 cups, okay? My first was in year 8, second year 10, third year 13, and then I had a good chance to go back to back. I lost in round 3 last time. We were in year 15 and I've got 3 cups, which is not bad by any stretch. Any franchise would be happy to win those types of championships. There's plenty of franchises who haven't won a single one. There's even more that haven't won 3, and we've won 3 in 15 years. But considering the roster I've been able to put together, the way I've run this cutthroat business, we should have a hell of a lot more. We are not okay. We want to be thriving. We don't want to be carving our name into NHL history. We want to carve our names into sports history, and we're going to do that. I feel another championship coming up, a little bit of a last dance, if you will. This team has been unable to produce the results that I believe it should produce, and I'll make the tough decisions if I have to. We win round 1 in 5 games. Round 2, we have the Dallas Stars. I believe we lost the last playoff series to, not the Stars, but we lost the last playoff series to the Knights, who we just beat, and the Stars, we just beat in 6. Now we have San Jose. I don't think we've seen San Jose that often, and I don't think it should really matter. We probably should come away with the series pretty easily. We do in 6, and we are back in the Stanley Cup Finals, where we're going to have the Washington Capitals. Feels good to be back in the finals. We've only lost once in the... Are you kidding me? Oh! Whoa. That went by so fast. Did we just complete a 3-0 comeback? We lost the first 3 games and then win the next 4. Obviously I don't know because you don't see the games in the simulation, but we might be the second team to ever do that after the Leafs did it in 1967. I think it was 67. Possibly the second team ever to come back from a 3-0 deficit in the Stanley Cup Finals. Boys, I'm sorry I treated you so harshly, but that is legendary. 34 points, 23 goals from Sylvester. How can I let this guy go? How? Is that a $26 million player? If that's not a $26 million player, what is? That's on 17 minutes of ice time after scoring 88 in the regular season. What do I do? Before we dive deeper into that, I said a while ago that I should really be looking at the record books because I haven't exactly been viewing retirement. So let's just do a quick cursory look over NHL history. Some retired players have their names up here. Kucherov, Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Alex Ovechkin, top 4 in goals, have all overtaken Wayne Gretzky. Points-wise, Kucherov and Connor McDavid become the second and third players in NHL history to score 2,000 plus. Crosby almost got there. Connor Bedard is the player with the most 50-goal seasons. He should still be in the league, so we should be seeing his name up here soon. And as far as 100-point seasons go, McDavid did tie Wayne Gretzky, and Leon put his name up there. As far as our franchise goes individually, all-time, Celebrini has the most points. Landon DuPont has 1,000 assists already. Although he has played 1,000 games, he's getting pretty old. I should probably remember that. And Jimmy Sylvester is our GOAT goal scorer. And Will Cooley, most PIMs all time. He's a bit of an underrated guy. I haven't mentioned him a lot. He's been a dog for us. I got some huge decisions to make here. Gavin McKenna won the Art Ross and the Hart. DuPont. Who's surprised? Another Norris. The Calder also went to us with our defenseman Howies. Don't quite know how to say that. Sylvester wins another Conn Smythe. Still no Selke for the squad, but we do get another Ted Lindsay for Gavin McKenna and another Rocket Richard for Sylvester. That's 2 consecutive for him. And I'm pretty sure Sylvester's going to be the player I trade. Simply because in order to re-sign Macklin Celebrini, I need the money that's being used on Sylvester. I believe firmly that Celebrini gives a bigger impact to this team through his defense. Again, his trophy case, it's not as large, but he's the captain of this team. And I gotta say, if I'm banking on one of these 2 players to go the distance, I'm not sure how Sylvester is gonna progress as an older player. I am sure that basically every single franchise level player, as they get older, they still sim pretty well. They still play pretty well. I'm gonna sell Sylvester in the draft. And he's been huge for this franchise. Look at this trophy case. He won the Conn Smythe every year. This might be my biggest mistake, but it's the move I'm making. I will say, I didn't even realize this was the case, but remember we got Seattle's pick? That was supposed to be the first overall pick. We go from 1 to 2. So that's amazing for us. I might honestly trade up to number 1. There's not a franchise guy in this class, but there's a pretty good first guy off the board who could definitely step in and help play the role that Sylvester was playing. He's a power forward, so he's not quite a sniper, but and he's good defensively. We could throw him in there. I think I'm just gonna take my pick, the 7th overall or the 2nd overall pick here, and I think I'm gonna go down to Antti Tuukkonen. Hopefully he can make up for a little bit of the impact that Sylvester had someday, maybe. Hopefully. That'd be awesome. Here's the plan. Here's the deal. Here's the trade. Jimmy Sylvester for 3 expiring contracts, just so the salary cap works out, and 2 first-round picks. They're saying no. Instead of taking those first-round picks out, I'm going to put Anaheim first-round picks in because these Anaheim picks are looking like they're just going to be pretty bad over and over again, and those those Chicago picks look like they're going to be pretty good. So I'm just going to throw some picks in and try and get it to go. It's not going to go. So I'm going to have to just go for one Chicago pick. We are a bit off in value, so we should get it done in this next deal. We'll throw a second in from next year as well with one Anaheim pick this year, and we get the deal done. Jimmy Sylvester is no longer a part of the Festive Hockey Club. We do have a couple of the rights to those contracts of the guys I traded for Sylvester. I'm not going to re-sign them or sign them at all, though, because I don't want them and it'd be too much money. My main focus is going to be on Celebrini, who wants 27 mil for 2 years, which I'm honestly cool with because pretty soon he's going to start regressing and hopefully asking for less money, but still performing pretty well. Obviously, first things first, though, is to get him on a new contract. And he does accept. That's great. I do have some money for free agency, but I'm not gonna spend it. I'm gonna save it for some re-signings and contracts. We're gonna try and lock down a core and see if we can go on a run here before really going for a kind of a harder reset. I'm gonna put a $2.2 million extension for 8 years on Riley Ramsey. 21 years old. I think we got something here, but it's a crazy contract. He accepts right away. Same type of thing for Cody Vandermeyer. Long, cheap contract. Buying into him. Ernest Blair. This one might be a little tougher, but we're going to send it out anyways. We are in the search for back-to-back titles. We've got McMillan and Barry both expiring this season. Notoriously, Barry signed that $1.5 million 8-year contract, but I don't know if we'll be able to keep him. But we do have some solid replacements if things do go bad for him. Riley Ramsey is on an 8-year, basically $1 million contract. He's 22 right now. He's a fourth line role, but he's a grinder, and he's got some good physicals. He's got some decent defense, some decent skating. I want to see him take over Will Cooley's spot because Cooley was kind of a goat for us. I think he can play that role very well. On the first line, I'm bringing up Travis Pacioretty, who we drafted 6th overall in 2038. I'm putting him next to Dallas Skilly. Hopefully, Celebrini can just carry these guys. Celebrini's been through some pretty bad line mates, and he's been able to carry them. So I got faith in the guy. On defense, Caden Howes won the Calder last season. He's got 4.5 mil for 7 more years. He won the Calder scoring 19 points, but he was plus 58 because his job was to just play great defense and let Landon DuPont absolutely cook other teams, and that's what happened. The team is looking good. It's looking good. We're in a spot to go back-to-back. Hopefully we can get it done. We haven't gone back-to-back and won consecutive cups this entire video, but when better than now to start? Travis Pacioretty definitely clutched up a Calder. 28 goals, 44 points. Not a ton, honestly, for first-line minutes on this team, but he was plus 47. Usually that carries some weight. Across the league, I'll say it was probably one of our worst seasons. We didn't have the league leader, but Celebrini still scores above 100. DuPont scores above 100. McKenna above 100. McMillan, Barry in a contract year. Both have solid years. And I've got some plans for this team in the offseason. But for right now, we're a 60-plus win team and 130-plus point team once again. And in round 1, we play the Oilers and Salvador Kerslake, the prodigal son, the man who would be king, my former #1 pick. My former guy. And I'm sorry to do this to you, but you're not beating us again. I think Kerslake maybe beat us once, or was that Rick Rome that beat us on the Panthers or on the Predators? And now we just have beaten the Oilers and Kerslake 5-1. I'm sorry for what I did to you, but it had to be done. And the rest of this playoffs, I imagine, should go in our favor. And this should be the first time we lift back-to-back consecutive cups. Round 2, we've got Chicago, and we go down, and it gets close, and we lose in 6. Ladies and gentlemen, we are frauds. I don't know if a team has ever scored 130-plus points as many times as we have, and certainly not as close together as we have. We are the best regular season of all time, best regular season team of all time, and some of the worst playoff chokers of all time. Remember, this team has never missed the playoffs. And yeah, we do have 4 Stanley Cups in 16 seasons, so we're hitting at 25%, but with the squad we built, probably should be hitting a lot more than that. We do have in the draft a franchise guy. Ladislav Tatar. Similar play style to Nathan McKinnon. I will be drafting him. I will do whatever I can to get that pick and draft him. Chicago Blackhawks, by the way, I just remembered. They they have Sylvester on their team, who has 10 goals in 13 games, and he just beat us. Man, am I just the biggest fraud of all time? Sylvester spins the block and beats us the season after we trade him. Before we get to the draft, I'm going to re-sign Ryder Barry for $17-ish million. McMillan, I'm going to hold off on for a little bit. He does accept, and we head into the draft. Sylvester does not take his team all the way to the chip, but I mean, I can't hate him. I'm the one who snaked him. Even if he won, maybe that's good for him. Maybe we just got to root for him. No, I'm building the dynasty. I'm creating legacies. If you're not with me, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Pacioretty wins the Calder. #1 rookie in the league. Speed, poise, potential, likelihood increase. As far as the awards go, DuPont picks up the Norris. Pacioretty does pick up the Calder. And, oh, first Vezina. Ho picks up a Vezina and a Jennings, but I think that's all we get. In the draft, I'm going to trade up to the #1 overall pick. And Ryder Barry is the player I'm going to be sending away. Him and hopefully just picks is enough. I'm a bit off in value with 2. I'm going to put a 3rd and a 4th in there, and still not enough. They're uncomfortable with the salary and the extension, so I'm going to just put more picks in. More picks in. More picks in. They're still saying no because of the salary. The salary could be a bit of an issue. That means I'm going to have to trade Barry somewhere else, but I still can get this deal done. Just going to have to pick a couple of other players. Honestly, Pacioretty, after winning the Calder, he does turn into an elite high now. I would just do this 1-for-1 if I could. Oh my God. Holy finessed. Are you kidding me? Scammer gets scammed. What? A single elite high player. He was like, was he 21 or 22 for the first overall pick? And that's going to turn into a franchise medium player. Oh my God. Are we serious? I still am going to end up trading Barry. I just don't know who to. I'm guessing I'm going to go after Columbus now. 2 firsts. That's a high bar. Definitely not going to give that up. Honestly, I would do this deal for just 1 first. Trade accepted. That contract is not going to be good long term, and Columbus has some other tough contracts, so I might have just killed their franchise with that. My fault, but you accepted. You said it was a good deal. I've got 3 late first-round picks. I'm going to see if I can go 3 for 3. First is a goalie, elite medium, low overall. Not bad, good potential. Second is a wing playmaker, another elite medium, not a high overall, but we got potential. Last, top 6, low. 64 overall, not great. So we got 2 pretty good, decent picks, good potential. Last one wasn't great. The big contract we got to sign is Parker McMillan. I'm going to give him asking price with no clause. Count your days, pal. We might be headed into sort of a new era of FestiveFruits Hockey Club. We're losing quite a few players. We're going to lose Celebrini soon. Gavin McKenna not too long after. Parker McMillan's not really a core part. We did trade for him, but he's going to be going away too. We're going to be left with Tatar as a part of our new dynasty, or a dynasty, hopefully, if we can happen to build one. And Antti Tukkonen. I have not put him in the lineup yet. I took him 2nd overall in 2040. I'm going to wait 1 season just so I can put the challenge on him so he gets those boosts if he wins the Calder. Am I just going too hard on the numbers and worrying too much about these contracts instead of just letting it ride, right? Sometimes you got to play with your heart, and maybe I'm playing a bit too much with my brain right now, and that's why these boys just don't want to give it their all, because I'm not giving them my all. No, we're going to keep doing that, and we're going to win. We're going to build a dynasty, and it's going to be great. On defense, I've been saying over and over again, the contract situation is terrible. I feel like I haven't really explained that well, so let me just show you the contracts I have. Like, DuPont is by far my most paid, but I got a 4.5 for 6 years. These are not, those are ending, but I got a 2.2 for 6. I got a 3 for 7. And these are kind of the overalls we're looking with, anything from 85 to 78. I just want to make you guys understand that those are great contracts. If I go into the player search and I look for contracts that are at least 4 years long, and I look for defensemen, I think you will notice that if I sort this by the cheapest contracts, it's basically just all players. Like, look, I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like the 7 most cheap defenseman lengthy contracts all on my team. And after that, 5.7 for 4 years for an 81 overall, 5.7 4 years, 80 overall, 6 mil for 5 years for an 82, 6.2 mil for 4 years for an 82. I mean, the contracts I'm getting right here are absolute steals. So I'm really happy with him. I'm just not happy we haven't been able to really capitalize on all this extra money I've had and the teams I built. We've only won 4 cups, which still is, as I said, it's a good amount, but I don't think we built a dynasty yet. I ran through the season, and before we look at the stats, let's look at the players. Celebrini is down to an 88 overall. He's regressing pretty fast, 35 years old, but we have his replacement. Ladislav Tatar, 90 overall already. As far as the season and how it went, we had another 60+ win year. Just the norm for us at this point. And Celebrini, despite being an 88 overall, put up 143 points. And I believe a career high 83 goals. I've had him next to other scorers, Sylvester. But with McKenna here, he's finally getting his goal scoring due. Again, DuPont, I believe he just won his 8th. Norris, yes, 8, which is a record. I believe Lindstrom only won 7. I'm saying only like that's not nuts, but great year from him. Tatar goes a point per game in his first season, 30 goals, 51 assists. Should be a pretty easy Calder for him. All around things are great. Dallas Skilly, 85 overall right now is kind of where he's sitting. And I think putting him on the 3rd line is going to be the move. He's got some nice defensive stats and $1.9 million contract. He's been absolutely, I mean, obviously he didn't go the way Sylvester. He wasn't that good of a player, but he's, again, half the price tag, and even that is just super cheap. Another huge success in our contract luck. Another player that's pretty good is Karpovstev. I had him at, I believe, the 3rd or 4th line center. He's someone with a lot of puck skills, a pretty good shot, and he puts up 14 goals and 30 assists on 12 minutes a night. That is mint. Enough playing around. We are once again back in the playoffs. Back with another chance for a cup. Looking for number 5. Looking to kickstart a dynasty here. We are going to take round 1 against the Stars. Round 2, we have the Winnipeg Jets. Another W for us. Now we're up against Edmonton. I believe Krzyzlake is on Edmonton, meaning the Blackhawks did not make it this far, and Krzyzlake might get his revenge. He does. Oh my god, I keep getting the blocks spun on me, and they're not going to win the finals either. We'd lose in 6 to a team that doesn't even win the finals. Ladislav Tatar does win the Calder, though. That's the best rookie. He's now going to be a franchise high potential player. But damn, when is our next cup going to come? Are we going to be able to win consecutive cups? Are we going to be able to build a dynasty at all? Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. Let's move ahead to the draft. I've got a plan. I have my future first line calculated, right? Celebrini's on the way out. McKenna's not too far after. I don't want McMillan, on my first line. I want to grow up something new and something better. Boys, I skipped retirement. I had a feeling it's come true. I'm looking at the hockey statements. I'm about to go to the draft. I skipped retirement. I should stop skipping retirement. I wish you could go back and look, EA. That might be a good It's my fault. Celebrini retired. I will greatly miss coming to the rink every day and seeing my teammates. Statements from #Celebrini as he has decided to retire. #done. Himself, Ivan Demidov, and Beckett Seneca are all out of the league. Well, where does that put him in the record book? I'm sad I couldn't see his total stats and looking at it, but I can see it right here. On the Rochester Festive Hockey Club, he did lead us in all-time points with 1,487. Of course, those are just the points he scored when he was with us. He might have snuck his way onto some lists, though. Connor Bedard is number 5 on most goals right now. As far as points go, Celebrini is number 5 with points. If he played one more season, he would have cracked 2,000. Very impressive for Macklin Celebrini, 4th most 100-point seasons. Jimmy Sylvester has 11 50-goal seasons. He has the most of those. Is he on? No, he's not on most goals yet, but we'll keep an eye out for Sylvester. In the draft, I said before already, I have a plan to shore up my future first line. It's going to be... Oh, I'm forgetting names. I am forgetting names. The franchise guy I just picked up. The wing I picked 2nd overall in the draft before that, and now I'm picking 2nd overall again, and I'm going to pick up another wing. My only problem is that Calgary does not have any space, any cap space, so I can't just throw a ton of players and prospects in there. I actually have to put some of my picks in there. So I'm going to put my 7th that I got from Columbus and my 31st that is my own, which isn't going to be enough, but hopefully I can get there without giving up 3 firsts. I can get there without getting up 3 first. Okay, we got the 2nd overall pick. Again, there's no franchise player, so we're not worried about going first, but I do want Caleb Klimchuk. 2-way forward. He's already got 2 abilities, and he looks like he's going to be pretty nasty. Again, we've now got a playmaker, a sniper, and a 2-way forward as our future line 1. Hopefully good things. Hopefully they're capable of good things. I'm going to take a few picks, but I also do have a trade I want to pull off for another pick, but that's going to be in the 3rd round. Oh shit, I just simmed past it. Never mind. Damn. Yeah, my next pick was in the 5th. Not only are we losing Celebrini, but Neil Ho, who's been my goaltender for a long time, just won back-to-back Vezinas. He's won 5 Jennings. His contract is up and he wants $10 million. I'm not signing him at that. We're going to have a lot of money for this free agency, the most I've had in a long time. I will say I have $27 million. And Clifford Para is asking for $27 million for 7 years. I'm not gonna hold up to that contract. I'm not gonna pay it out, but I certainly will offer him that with no clause at all, and he's gonna say yes right away. He's gonna consider it. Did he say no outright? Hold on. As much as I was led to sign with your team, it looks like you don't have enough gap in future. Wait, I don't have enough cap in future years to sign me. Oh, then why are you even letting me? I've never seen that message pop up before. What contracts do I have in future years? I just re-signed. I just did all my How does that make sense? I haven't. Oh, fuck you, Clifford. I'm gonna kill you. How's that? 25 million. He accepts right away. Still accepts. Boom. He's gonna be on the team for 1 year, and I'm trading his ass for the kitchen sink. For everything in the kitchen sink. Somehow that saying goes. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the lines. Tatar, Tukkonen are two parts of my future line 1. The guy I just drafted is going to go on the other wing, but it's Tukkonen's rookie season. We're going to put that challenge on him, and he's going to go up to the elite high if he wins it. Right? We got franchise high Tatar here. Clifford Para, the guy I just picked up new, is playing center for McMillan now, and I put this guy up here. He's playing 3rd line. He scored 44 points. He's got some nice puck skills. I want to see if he can have a crazy season, what that would do to his overall, because he's on a good contract. And then in the 3rd line, we've got Edwards, we've got Lindros, we've got Dallas Skelly. He's another long-time investment. We're going to see what he can do on line 3, how he can take some of the offensive highs he's had from people like Celebrini, see if he can get that down in that 3rd line and maybe light up the score sheet. Before we head into the season real quick, let's update on the captains. I'm giving McMillan an A. McKenna has an A. I think it's about time we showed DuPont some love. I didn't give Thomas Harley the C, and maybe that was a mistake. I really kind of tried to force it, and well, we're rectifying that mistake. We're recognizing our leadership in our defensive core, and we've got one of the greatest defensemen of all time. So let's just toss that C out there. I will say, end of the season, 50 wins. That's, you know, we're missing Celebrini bad right now, but Tatar is here. He led the team in points more than McKenna, more than DuPont. Clifford Para, the guy I just paid 20+ million for, goes under a point per game and was one of the only people negative in like my top 10 scorers. Our new rookie put up 32 goals, 31 assists, 63 points. Love to see that. Hopefully that's the Calder locked up. After him, Brent Shaw put in 57 points as a defenseman, 81 overall. Look at that contract. I'm telling you, man, these defenseman contracts, these are what, you know, this is a real big advantage right here. I'm hoping that given the way this video has gone so far and this team has gone so far, the new core we've actually done, I kind of did do a rebuild. I've put a lot into my prospects, and those are the people coming up right now. I haven't been hitting free agency nearly as hard as I have in past ones, so we better have a good second half, or this has been a failure. Just to illustrate my point, and what I mean that I've been like taking the long run in drafting. I've been going young and in the draft this entire video. Normally I do a lot more trades, trade a lot more picks, but for example, Brent Shaw, I drafted him in 2034. It's nearly 10 seasons later. He's 29. He's on this contract, and now it's working. So that's what I feel like I made sense the first time, but I just wanted to make sure for those who are questioning, that's what I'm doing. This is one of our least confident playoff runs, you know, not a 60-win team, but you know, 60-win teams, we didn't have that great of a record in playoffs anyways, so maybe we come in with a little bit more hunger with our young guys. It certainly might look so We win round 1 and 6, and we've got Dallas next. I genuinely cannot remember a single time Dallas beat me. Maybe they've been whipping my ass this entire video, but I feel like every time we face Dallas, we win. And that is certainly going to hold true here. Next, we get the Kings, another team I don't think... I remember losing them once, but I don't think I have a huge rivalry. Damn, they win 4 straight and kick us out. That honestly doesn't feel as bad because we've got some young talent coming in and some plans. That's another Calder. We're about to win like 4 Calders straight here soon. I'm just like that with the young talent these days. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I finally pressed the view retirements button. I finally pressed it, and we get Connor Bedard finishing with almost 1,000 goals, and Salvador Krjlake finishing 800 goals, 1,000 assists, 1,800 points. Same amount as Connor Bedard, but he was drafted 2 years later. A Hall of Fame career to be sure. And he did win an MVP. He did win an Art Ross. Was that with us? Wait, what? 42-43. That had to have been with us, right? No, 42-43. That was this season. He just had his MVP season, 115 assists, and then he retired? What the hell? Look at this season. He only shot the puck 177 times. He almost had as many assists as shots. Or close, at least. As many points as shots. What a career from the kid. I'm just sad we couldn't have it work out. But I've learned, and it's made me a better general manager. And I'm going to use that to trade up again. The number 1 guy is Louis Dandenault. He is a gem. He's already got an ability as he's a sniper. That might throw a little bit of a wrench in my line 1 plans, my perfect line 1. But maybe, I don't know, I'll figure something out here. I can't pass up on this because the guy just signed in free agency for $27 million, kind of a dud. Of course, I can't trade up with this guy because it's way over the salary cap. Why did I think I could just do that? Wait, how do I trade up to get this thing? Deal accepted. There it is. It's done. Okay. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to get that done for a sec. Louis Dandenault. Welcome to the squad. Someone is gonna have to tell me to stop, man. Someone is gonna have to tell me to stop because going into this free agency, I got $28 million. And look at what's on the board. I'm going to pick up Isaac McClement. Pick up the clause, send the contract. He accepts right away. That's a smart man. That's a smart man. Ladies and gentlemen, bear witness to... Ladies and gentlemen, this is our line of the future. Caleb Klimchuk, Ladislav Tatar, Antti Tukonen. These 3 are going to be on line 1. We have our new franchise guy. I think he's going to be on line 2. Going to play a bit of a Gavin McKenna role. But for now, we've got McKenna, McMillan, and McClement, who we just picked up. Probably going to be trading him in the draft. We'll see. On the 3rd line, we have Lindros, one of my favorite 3rd liners, and a couple of other guys down here. On defense, I did get some guys I qualified and brought them back in the lineup. Brodziak and Bronger. The last time they touched the ice, we might have won the Stanley Cup. So that might be a good sign. Maybe, if not, for the fact that I've been ignoring goalies again. I'm sorry, but I still believe in this crew. I still believe in it. We haven't missed the playoffs yet. We're going to go on a run. We rip off a quick 55 win season. I actually don't know if we won the President's Trophy. We did. Of course we did. We're like that. And Tatar is now leading the way in points. 109. McClement, our new pickup this time, has 104. DuPont back to 104. Is this going to be his 10th? Norris? No, he's already got 10 Norrises in a row. This might be his 11th. McKenna back in 100 territory. In our first line, we've got some young talent here brewing. 71 from our 2nd-year guy, and our rookie scores 60, but puts up 38 goals. That's got to be another Calder. Our biggest weakness was obviously between the pipes, but I can get that sorted again. And we're looking to really dominate in this second half here of the 25 years. I did already simulate game 1 of round 1 accidentally. We won 6-1 against the Golden Knights. So hopefully that's good bodings, good forebodings, but we lose 6-2 in game 2. Snap back. Holy shit. Can we get a solid goaltending or defensive performance this entire series? No, we lose in 6 in round 1. God damn it. There's no franchise guy on the board. But I don't know. I mean, I got to just go trade the guy I picked up in free agency because my center, I forget his name because it's kind of long. It's his contract here, and it's DuPont's contract here. I probably should have mentioned that before. We got 2 franchise guys coming off their contracts, but I'm going to do it after the draft because I'm then going to trade the guy I picked up for like 25 mil in free agency last year. That might be our last real cheese free agency pickup. Caleb Klimchuk does win Rookie of the Year. Likelihood increase. Good for us. I'm going to trade for the second overall pick. And I'm going to try and, DuPont is getting old, so maybe we can pick up his replacement here, although he could never be replaced. I'm going to put McClement in there, and then we're going to have to take some expiring contracts. I'm going to try and also get another first-round pick out of this, although I don't know if we're gonna. Then we're eating. I mean, these are expiring contracts, so I'm not even eating these. Not quite there yet, but I'm going to throw my picks in because I would rather have that pick. Still not enough of those. Throw a few more in. Still not enough. I guess I'm taking their pick out. It's not quite there without their pick, actually, so I'm gonna throw some of mine in and then we get it done. A big reason I think this guy could replace DuPont potentially is because his name is Brzgalov. Ilya Brzgalov is actually a bit of a scholar. He knows a lot about the universe. Ladies and gentlemen, I have basically one contract. Two contracts I gotta get done. Tatar and DuPont, 2 contracts. I'm gonna give him asking price, exactly what he's asked for. Actually, as low as I can go. But this should lock him up for the rest of the video. I'm going to go with 21.2. No response immediately, but I should, no matter what, still have enough money for DuPont, who only wants 1 year at around 20 mil. I'm going to offer about 18.5 to DuPont. They're both going to get it back. Got some scout signings. DuPont accepts. Tatar accepts. Both are back in. Before we go over the lines, Klimchuk didn't just go up 1 potential. He went up to franchise medium. Oh my gosh. We also have Dandenal, who I drafted, franchise medium. We got a little bit of regression on McKenna. I did pick up Frondell. Overall, the regression is hitting hard, but holy do we have a young core coming up right now. On defense, I kept the defenseman I drafted 2nd overall in the system. We're going to wait to sign him and then bring him up here. Right now, we've got DuPont playing out. Back in the team, see what he can do. I did pick up some new goalies. Again, the situation's not perfect, but I gotta say we should probably be winning cups with this team. I'm gonna go, and after this, I'm gonna look at some of the other teams that win cups and whatnot, and we're gonna do some comparisons here if I don't win. Blizzard. Before we look at the results of the season, I did give out 1 contract and 1 offer just now. Tukkonen, expiring, elite high guy, 22 years old. I gave him 12.5 million for 7 years, which will be the rest of the video. And I did send out an offer to Gavin McKenna. He's not gotten back to me on that yet, so we'll see where that goes. The season was pretty good. I think we were 1 win off the President's Trophy, 55 wins. DuPont leads the team in scoring. I feel like it's been a while since he's done that. 99 assists from him. I was checking the record books. I think he's 2nd in assists all time, just behind Wayne Gretzky. Again, one of the best, if not the best defenseman of all time. Certainly longevity-wise, he's won 11 consecutive James Norris trophies. He is that guy. No one else scores 100 points, but we've got some fellas on the way up. Klimchuk, our guy who was an elite medium, turned into a franchise, scores 47. Our rookie Dan Denault puts up 74 points. Things are going to be looking pretty well. We've set ourselves up to win a lot of consecutive championships, and we're getting to the point where we need to if we want to officially claim ourselves to be a dynasty. We have 6 more chances. We've only won 4 cups, which is again very successful, but we had standards a little bit higher. This is my hockey club. Gavin McKenna does accept the deal I offered him right before the start of the playoffs, and we're going to have the Blackhawks in round 1, where we do take a 5-game victory in round 1. Round 2, we're going to play the St. Louis Blues, a team I have not seen very often. It might be a little green because I think we're coming away with the series. No, we win it in 6, so it was a little close. Next, we've got the Calgary Flames in the conference finals. We lose. We got swept. We have 5 more chances. I'm gonna say it right now, we got to at least win 1 back-to-back, if not a 3-peat, if we want to say we had any chance at a dynasty. I mean, we're getting down to the wire. We're getting down to the wire. We made the playoffs every year, but our performances have not been perfect. I did say I wanted to compare against the team I just played, and this is the team we just got swept by. Definitely talented up top. We're more talented up top. Some good depth. We have better depth on defense. It's not even close. Between the pipes, they don't have a great 10D. We don't either. Like, this is not a team we should be. Not a team we should be getting swept by. That's for sure. Just gonna have to hope this new core really locks in and we do something crazy these last 5 seasons. Calgary goes on to win the Stanley Cup. I've still got Landon DuPont, his contract that I got to re-sign. I'm gonna wait till after the draft. We win another Calder Trophy. That's like 5 straight for us. I'm sure DuPont won his 12th straight Norris, but man, we got some things to figure out here. I am now looking at the retirements every year. I promise every year we're gonna look at retirements. Lane Hudson goes with almost 1,500 points, and Ben Kindle. He went to the Rangers, but looks like he might have a promising career. Along with Chase Reed retires. He's not even been drafted yet in real life. Not a lot of these guys have. Keaton Verhoff. Fraser Minton scores over 1,000. Some good players here retiring. We are getting to the point where my draft picks don't mean much. I don't know how many people I'm going to be drafting who are going to make the lineup before this video is over, before the 25 years are up. So I'm going to trade my picks. That being said, the trade I have drawn up right now is not for picks, but it's for Keegan Stevenson, a left defenseman. He's an offensive defenseman. Can't see the dollar amount here, but he's re-signed to about $8 million for 5 years, which is a pretty penny for an 84 overall, but he's 21 years old. He's elite medium. It's honestly, in this market, a very good contract for a defenseman. I think that takes us up to the end of the video, so I won't have to worry about re-signing him. And we're not going to get this deal to go straight up, but I'm going to just throw my first rounder in there because I do like the look of this. Still not enough. I'm just going to put more picks in until we get this deal to go. Next, I'm going to trade all my picks. I can probably do less for this, but I'm going to get the last pick in the 3rd round, because we should have a pretty good player here. Confirmed elite medium right wing, Raymond Tucker, who I'm probably not going to have in the lineup at all because I'm assuming he's going to be like 5 years out, 4 years out, but he should have a lot of trade value. Finally, we're at contract re-signings. A couple of people are going to be qualified as RFAs. DuPont, I have to bring back. Hugely important to this team. Honestly, I might just give him straight up what he's asked for. Actually, I'm going to take this down to 17.5 for 1 year. I mean, it's just the price is going to go down and down and down, but he just scored 120 points. So that's an easy contract to give out, even if he's 36 years old. Heading into free agency, Rick Rome, the guy I failed, hits free agency. I will say his trophy case, it's empty. I feel like if I didn't make those mistakes, you know, in another life, we'd stay with Rick Rome. We build that dynasty already, but now, no, that's not the life we got. Before we head into free agency, I'm going to make a trade. Parker McMillan is 34 years old, getting paid $18 million. He's part of the old guard that's leaving. And while we did win 3 cups with him, I'm looking towards Camden Cleary, 22-year-old two-way forward with excellent defensive stats. I threw a 1st round pick in here just because we have more value, but I do believe that it's not going to go, and it's not going to go. But I do want to just try and pick up that 1st round pick because I'm interested to see in what it could become. So I'm going to throw some of my picks in there and try and get a New York first, and I do get it. And we do get a new player for cheaper, which means I can take the money I have and head to free agency. Because in free agency, we have Jimmy Sylvester. He wants $22 million. I have barely just that like amount. I don't know how many people are going to be contesting me on this, but I'm going to send this contract out. Let the prodigal son return. He won 4 cups with us, a Conn Smythe every time. I'm going to offer him that money. Hopefully he accepts and returns. Jimmy Sylvester rejects. I don't think he accepts anywhere else though, which means he's probably going to lower his amount. He did just lower his money amount to 18 million. I'll send that out. I don't know why he would reject and then lower the amount. Is he going to say yes here? There's no one else offering. He rejects again. I'm going to put a little bit of trade protections on him, offer again, and now see what he says. We've got some bad blood, but let me make amends, Jimmy. He accepts. The return of the prodigal son, Jimmy Sylvester, is back in the build. Here are the lines. Jimmy Sylvester, I'm putting him back in line 1. I know I said I'm bringing that line 1 together. Yeah. I changed my mind. Sylvester's up there with Tatar and Tukkunen, and then Kilmachuk is on the 2nd line next to Dandenal, who's technically a wing, but he's playing center because he's not bad at faceoffs, and he's centering McKenna. We are a little bit short on our center depth. I had a lot of center depth earlier when I had Celebrini, I had Suzuki, I had one Ryan McLeod. Did I have all 3 of those at one point? Maybe, but it didn't lead to anything great. So we're really changing some things up on defense. Stevenson is in here now. That should be some more defensive firepower outside of DuPont. Again, we should be one of the best teams, but I did do a bit of a change. I picked a new head coach who's a little bit more defensive focused. Hopefully that helps us between the pipes. Goalie situation still not great, but I have a 22-year-old goalie who's an elite medium. I just extended him 2 years for like $1.5 million. I have him for 3 years at pretty cheap. We'll see how this works. This is my first time going seriously defensive focused. I'm hoping it shouldn't take a hit on an offense that bad because, again, look at our offensive talent. Remember the team I showed you that just won the cup? Is this team not better? Am I tweaking out here? We should be pretty easy cup contenders. We continue our streak of playoff appearances with 54 wins, and Jimmy Sylvester leads the team in points with 65 goals, 108 points, followed by Landon DuPont. But at this point, who cares? I want a Stanley Cup. I want to once again be atop the hockey world. I think this is the longest we've gone without winning a cup since our first cup, but maybe that will change. We have a new coach, a new system, and we've got our playoff performer back. Round 1, we're gonna play the Winnipeg Jets. Game 1, we get a shutout. We continue our wins, and in game 2, game 3, can we get a clean sweep? Yes, we can. That feels good. That gives us a little bit of confidence. Heading into round 2, we're gonna face the St. Louis Blues, who we also faced last year, but this time we're gonna pull off another clean sweep. We have not lost a game in the playoffs yet. San Jose are who we're going to meet in the conference finals. We're going to win all three. Oh my God. We are 12-0 and we're facing the Detroit Red Wings. If you've seen my other 25-year rebuilds, you know that me and the Red Wings have some history. They have been across rebuilds, my greatest enemy. But before we go into that series, I want to take a look at their team. On offense, I think it's fair to say we have a vastly more talented roster. On defense, I think it's safe to say we're vastly more talented. Between the pipes, they have a little bit of an edge with Marcos Hickey. I think this should be a playoff victory for us. Sylvester is leading the way for us. Tomastic is leading the way for them. That being said, Sylvester does have 25 points in only 12 games, and they've played 19. Holy 16 goals in 12 games in the playoffs. Sylvester, why did I ever get rid of you? What have I done? Bring me back to the top, baby. Are we going to go on a flawless playoff run, the first ever? No, we lose game 1, but we bring it back, and we just set the NHL playoff record. I don't think any other team has gone 16-1. I know the Oilers went 16-2 with Gretzky. We just went 16-1. We only lose one game in the postseason. The dynasty is beginning. I'm sorry, Sylvester. I'm sorry. It was a mistake. But we back now. We back on top. The only contract I'm going to look at before free agency, or not free agency, before the draft is Spike Lindros. I'm going to go with 7.5 for 2 seasons. Hopefully he says yes. It's a pretty big pay cut for him. He does accept in the draft. I'm not going to focus on picking up rookies. I'm going to probably trade my picks and see what I can get for him. First, let's look at the retirements. We are seeing a lot of people from DuPont's draft year 2027 retiring. I think that is DuPont. Maybe that's the year. No, that's DuPont. So his time is coming up close, but no one really relevant to our franchise quite yet. Hopefully we can get another year or 2 out of DuPont. There is a play I can make right now. I do need centers, and I'm going to trade up in the draft to pick up a center. I'm going to wait 1 year, then put him on their rookie ELC for the rest of the video, because that'll be 3 years, and we'll have 3 years left after this season. But I think this is the right move. I'm gonna throw Tucker in there. I'm gonna throw my first round pick in there that I got from the Islanders. That is enough. I'll take that deal, and I'm gonna pick up Callie Holstrom, 81 overall center. I could put him in right now, but I'm gonna let him cook up for 1 season. The reason I waited till after the draft to do some contracts is because I was hoping DuPont and Kilimachuk would change their minds. DuPont is still asking for 20 mil, and Klimchuk is asking for 19. The only real course of action I have here is to qualify the RFA on Klimchuk and give DuPont 1 year, or I could just say goodbye to DuPont, and I think I have to. He's 37. I just can't pay him $20 million. Maybe I'll see what he comes to in free agency, but I can't pay that money. I think DuPont has kind of been our franchise GOAT. 13 James Norris trophies, all consecutive, 5 cups with him, a Lady Bing, but I'm letting him go to free agency. We'll see what he picks up. I wish him the best of luck, but I'm actually just gonna sign Klimchuk right now. I have some other defensive plans, some other defensive things in the pipeline. I think I can maybe replace. No, I can't replace DuPont. He's been the best player on this team for so long, but I'm gonna give 17 mil to Caleb Klimchuk, and we'll see what goes on with DuPont in free agency. because I've also got Gavin McKenna here, and he's going to need a bag too, or at least $9 million. But if I put a clause on that, I should be able to crank it down. And he is willing to go down to about 7.7. I think he'll say yes to that. Klimchuk says yes. McKenna says yes. DuPont is probably never playing for us ever again. Before I even go into free agency, I want to make sure we don't lose a player like that again. I'm going Louis Dandenault, our franchise guy who's 20 years old. I'm re-signing him the day it first becomes available. He's asking for a little bit more, but if I put a no movement on the last year, I think I can crank this down to 12 mil, maybe get a yes. If not, put like 100,000 more back onto it. We should have him locked in. Another guy who's going to be key, but very old, is Jimmy Sylvester. I don't care. He still plays like a dog. I'm going to extend him the same time for $12.5 million for 1 year. He accepts right away. That's my guy. He's back in the build. I think the only signing I'm going to make in free agency is Matthias Vick, a two-way forward with a lot of puck skills, who's pretty good defensively. Realistically, could be a second or third liner, but we're just missing center depth. So I want more centers. And Dandenault does accept our contract. I have the lines: Sylvester, Tatar, and I'm going with Klimchuk on line 1. Line 2, Tukkonen, Dandenault, and McKenna. McKenna is entering the end of his career, as is DuPont. Hopefully we can keep him on the squad. He did win a heart with us, quite a few cups with us, but I'm looking back and I'm thinking, man, even though we spent some time apart, Jimmy Sylvester's meant a lot to this franchise, right? DuPont, I love him. Don't get me wrong, but 5 Conn Smythe, every time we needed someone, he was the guy who was there. DuPont is probably the franchise GOAT, but Jimmy Sylvester, yeah, he has good reason to be in that conversation, which is why I've given him the C. He is the captain. I remember during, I think it was our first cup run, maybe it was our second, when I said whoever gets the Conn Smythe, that's like the leader. I'm gonna give them the C. But he didn't have an A on. I didn't want to take an A from someone else, so I didn't give him anything, and I just left it at that. Should have made him the captain a long time ago, but he is now. McKenna still has an A, and Tatar has got the other A. Hopefully we can go back to back and really start a dynasty in our final hour. Looking back to the lines, we are missing Gavin McKenna in our defensive core, but I did bring up Brizgalov, who is the guy I picked 2nd overall in 2044. Hopefully he can do something. We've got 3 years of him at his entry level, and then we've got another guy coming in as a center at an entry level. So we've got some good deals going on back here. Again, Stevenson will have for the rest of this video. And between the pipes, goaltending is, you know, elite medium, 84 overall, 23 years old. He might turn into the best goalie we've ever had, but he certainly hasn't won any Vezinas yet. Neil Ho, I think, won 2 Vezinas with us. Everything's on the line. We got to bring it home. Wait up before we continue. Marcos Brodziak does accept a qualifying offer. I've had him qualified for like 2 seasons now because I wasn't willing to let him go, and he was asking for like $10 million. So he's gonna play a season 2. We do get a little bit of a pick-me-up after DuPont's exit. Still probably one of the best defensive cores in the league. That's just how bad the defensive market is right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the playoffs. Again, who's surprised? We've never missed the playoffs. Sylvester led the way in points. If you look around the league, we win another President's Trophy. 2nd place was Philadelphia, which is interesting because you know who's in Philly right now. It is Landon DuPont, who puts up 124 points in his first season away from us, and he's teammates with this guy right here, Darius Darius Bezinius, who scores 110 goals this season. 1 season with DuPont, he scores 110. DuPont is like that. He wasn't succeeding just because it was our system. He's really like that. I would have loved that on my team, but yeah, the 20 mil would have been worth it, but I spent that money on Klimchuk, who puts up 103 points, but only time will tell if I made the right decision there. Round 1, we have Chicago, who I don't think we've lost to in a long time. We've kind of had Chicago's number for a minute. We win game 1, but we lose game 2. 1 game was all that we lost the entirety of the last playoff run, but in this first series, we're already going to lose 2. When we take it all the way to 7, that was way closer than it should have been. Next up, we've got Colorado, and we're going to lose the first 2, but do we make it up in the next 2? Yes, we do. It goes again all the way to 7, and we win in 7. This run is getting close. Again, this is our chance at our first consecutive Stanley Cup victories, and we are absolutely in a dogfight. That's our first 6-game series. The first 2 were for 7, and now we've got Philadelphia in the finals. Are you kidding me? Landon DuPont spinning the block on his old team. Did I make the right decision this time? Oh my God. Before we hop in, let's look at who else is on Philadelphia. They have a pretty good first line, but we should really be better all the way around. Darius Bazinius obviously just came off a 110 goal season, and Landon DuPont is still a 92. They have the star power in this series for the first time in a long time. I gotta say, they do have the star power. Bazinius has 29 points in 17 games, 20 goals in 17 games. He is gunning for the singles playoff run record too. He just took the what do you call it, single season goal record, but he goes down 2-1 in round 1. Bazinius and DuPont might have had that great regular season, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to beat his former team. We beat the Philadelphia Flyers. I finally made the correct decision. Sylvester is the GOAT. He is the franchise GOAT. DuPont, I love you, but if I would have kept Sylvester, I don't know. This might have been a lot different. We win our first consecutive championships, and I'm assuming that's going to be another Conn Smythe for Sylvester. I don't even know if I showed you that last time. Darius Bazinius wins a Hart. DuPont wins like his 15th Norris. No one else has touched the Norris for so long. But Jimmy Sylvester wins his 6th Conn Smythe, I think, all with us. The prodigal son, man, he hath returned. 36 points in 24 games. That was, what, 2 Game 7s into Game 6 for the conference finals, and what did we wrap that up in 5 games in the finals, or 5 or 6, something like that. That's a battle of a series. Before we head into the draft, I have one re-signing I want to do. Brodziak wants 19 million for 7 years. I'm gonna throw that contract out. I'll even put a clause on it, but I'm gonna defer it, and then I don't even need to defer it, but I'm gonna defer it and then trade him in the draft. Accepts right away. Oh my God. We needed 3 more seasons, Sylvester. Please, 3 more seasons. Oh, he retires with 2,000 points and 1,211 goals. He was a 5th rounder that we drafted in 2026. Oh my God. 6 cups, 6 Conn Smythes, 6 Rocket Richards, a Hart Trophy, a Ted Lindsay, 3 Art Rosses, 3 Lady Bings. But damn, Sylvester, still at 86 overall, still killing it. We could have got 3 more seasons. Oh shit. I'm gonna have to get so lucky in free agency. I don't know any of these other. Oh, I guess Schaefer went, Pui went, Nyberg went. That hurts. That's gonna hurt us. We're gonna have to pick something up in free agency. I'm gonna make a move in this draft. I'm gonna look for Damian Rukin. He's ranked 2nd, but if he goes first, then I can just take that is a name and a half that I'm not even gonna attempt to say. He did go first. God damn. I think I'm gonna go down to pick 5, and we do have another center here, just not as good of a talent, but still, I think I'm just gonna rip this 1 for 1, get it done with, and then hopefully my guy's still here at 5. I believe he is. Brendan Boblev, welcome to the squad. 80 overall, medium elite sniper. The only super important contract I have to re-sign is Gavin McKenna, who is really going down in a dollar amount and overall, but he's still performing pretty well, so I will be looking to re-sign him for 3.5. Let's go a little bit under 3.4 million. The rest, I'm just gonna let go some defensemen who are asking too much and re-sign who I can, and then head to free agency, where I do need a big pickup. In free agency, we have Griffin Cruz. He's got a lot of interest. We don't quite have the money to pay for him, but maybe we can get this done. Just maybe. If you are unfamiliar with Griffin Cruz, I didn't talk about him last season, but he definitely was on the screen. He just scored 98 goals, and he's been absolutely dogging out. He's on the St. Louis team that we've kind of been giving some belt to, but maybe he'll come join our team. There's only one way to find out. There are 0 teams interested right now. He wants 30 mil for 1 year, and I can give him 26.9 mil. I'm going to send that out. Let's see what other teams say. I'm hoping no one else is going to be super interested in that price offer. He's rejecting. I think he's lowering his price, and now we're just going to send out his price. He's going to say yes right away. He's going to get back to us in a few days. Still no other teams interested, and he does accept. Griffin Cruz is our Sylvester replacement. I don't know if he'll ever be Sylvester, but we needed something, and he's the one who's going to be coming in to bring some more firepower to this team. Sylvester is gone, but it's not crazy to say that we have formed an absolute juggernaut. Usually during this time is when my team looks the worst. I'm honestly, you know, Sylvester simmed like an absolute beast. We don't have that guy in here, but this looks like one of the best teams I've ever put together. Gavin McKenna, he's an 81, so it looks bad, but he sims like a beast. His time may be coming up on this team, but for now, he's on the second line next to Dananel and Tukkanen. But on line one, I put Cruz up on that wing spot. Hopefully, he can get some real good work done next to Tatar. And look at the depth. Holmstrom just signed to a rookie deal. He'll be on this for the rest of the video. And Bobby Lev just signed on a rookie deal. He'll be on this for the rest of the video. Those are elite medium teenagers in my depth right now. On defense, things don't look great. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think they look a hell of a lot better than what the rest of the league is dealing with right now. In between the pipes, I think we've got basically our best goalie we've ever had. They didn't want to Vez or anything, but an 87. I don't think we had an ability on a goalie this whole video, and now we do. In the third to last season, now we do. We're missing Sylvester, but I think we can still get it done. We win 50 games once again. I honestly don't remember how long it's been since we didn't win 50. I don't know if we're going to win 60 again, but we certainly do have another player crossing 100 points. Griffin Cruz, his first season with us, 103 points, 64 goals. Still solid up and down the lineup. I will say Camden Cleary has been a really nice addition for us. He's getting paid some pretty big bucks, but I think he's playing on the third line, still doing God's work. The question is, can this team win without Jimmy Sylvester? Round one, we have the Colorado Avalanche, and I'm hopeful Griffin can step up and provide in the playoffs. Again, I don't know if he's ever going to do what Jimmy did, and I'm getting pretty nervous. We lose the first 2 games, and we lose the first 3, and we get swept. The Festive Hockey Club builds up some momentum. Then I signed Jimmy, right? I signed Jimmy, and because I got Jimmy in free agency, I didn't have the money to keep DuPont. Now I haven't either. And we have 2 more seasons. Maybe we could call this a dynasty if I win the next 2 cups. If not, I don't know. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at retirements, Gavin McKenna hangs up the skates. He scored over 2,000 points, and a lot of them were for us. But remember, he was drafted by Nashville. It's going to free up a wing spot, and I've got some, as always, I have decisions to make. I decided to change things up this draft and actually take my picks. This is a mistake. I just wasted 7 picks. I should have traded him. I should have made a move. But I'm pretty sure the real important move is going to be who I spend my money on in free agency, because Cruz is not coming back. I'm not really going to look for one single player. I'm going to try and get quite a few people in free agency. I have $41 million. Number one, I'm going for Melichirik, 35 years old as hell. Wants $15 million. I'm going to take it down a little bit and then send that out. He's great defensively. I think he has 4 Selkies, so he should be great there. Another great defensive player I want is Aiden Party. Extremely physical, great defense, $11 million. He's pretty old too. We're going to send that out. Next, I have 18 to make a big deal, and I think Nicholas Rodin might be the move. He is two-way, so he's another good defensive player, but he's also been scoring quite a bit. 30s, 40s, he's put up 50 once. He's 33. He wants 18 for 3 years. I'm going to send that out. I'm going to try and take the clause off. Hopefully he says yes, and he does right away. That's a good, we can honestly just throw together a third line there with some really solid studs, but someone's going to have to step up and play second line. We've got some new players on the team. Here are the lines we're bringing in. Some new faces: Melichirik, Rodin, Party. Some old faces progressing: Holstrom, Bobby Lev. On defense, things are looking tougher and tougher. I decided to split up Stevenson and Brizgalov, and that's what we're running between the pipes. My goalie, my number 1 guy, he was asked for too much, so I qualified him. We are hopefully we finish this back-to-back. If we can finish this video with back-to-back chips, fuck it. I'll say we got a dynasty, and I'm gonna title this video, I built a dynasty. If we don't finish with back-to-back chips, fuck it, man. We didn't build a dynasty, but I'm still probably going to put dynasty somewhere in the title. My fault. The season is over. 3 100-point players led by Dandanel. And I got to say, if I could take this crew on like a 10-year ride, I think we could win a lot of chips, but We've got 2 more years. 2 more playoff runs, I should say, because I've already played the regular season. And shit, we are getting close, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't showed the goalies a lot during this entire sim just because the numbers are different. I told you already, I upped the scoring for this simulation, so these numbers look terrible, but they're not like super terrible. I mean, they're definitely not good. But if you look across the league, there's a lot of high 2s and low 3s for goals against. And the numbers just aren't what we're used to seeing. I said last season, like when's the last time we won 40 games in a season? Only 40 games, and we only win 49. We are below the 50 mark. I will say it will be impressive if this is kind of a given that we're going to, but making the playoffs every single year. It's obviously not as impressive as it was in the first season. That was more because of luck, but starting a new franchise, making the playoffs every single season, it's not bad. It's not a bad achievement. I'm simming through the entire playoffs. Hopefully we can come away with another cup. Again, we're getting to all or nothing. It does look like we're going to come away with a first round victory. We just need 1 more win in the next 2 games, and we get it in 7. Thank God. Round 2, the Vegas Knights, who we are plummeting. No, we're winning. We do beat them in 6 again. Holy shit. We pull off a 3-0 comeback and win the last 4 straight in the conference finals to go back to the Stanley Cup finals against the New York Rangers, a team we have lost to before in the finals, I'm pretty sure. We no longer have Sylvester on the lineup. Who is gonna... Oh my God, we just ripped their assholes apart. Holy shit. We win in 5 against New York. We get our get back against New York. Who was it that was the hero of that game? We've kind of been out on regular season awards, but we're back with another Stanley Cup win. Our 3rd in 4 years. Can we get 4 in 5 years? That's what we care about. Cruz puts up an Art Ross and a Hart. DuPont took 1 year off of the James Norris. Let me move my head so you guys can see, but he's got like 15 or something of these now. And Klimchuk pulls away with the Conn Smythe, taking up Sylvester's legacy. Not much else as far as hardware goes, but we got the one that counts. Now, can we do it back to back again and actually solidify a dynasty? I'm going to try and keep this lineup the exact same as what we had and run it back. I think it should be doable. I don't think I'm going to need to make any trades or any moves. I think I can keep this core together. I can definitely keep the core together, but the ancillary players, the outside players, the pieces. Can I keep the pieces pieced? Never mind, I take it back. We can't keep it together, so I'm going to have to make a move in the draft. And I'm going to trade up to pick up someone who's going to be super cheap, but can still play a part. I'm thinking that might be Frederick Bemstrom. Can I trade up to the 4th pick? Most importantly, is Bemstrom going to still be there at pick 4? Yes, he is. I got to trade up now. One thing I definitely need to get rid of is this Melanchuric contract. Is just definitely not going to be worth it. I'm going to try and pick up an expiring deal so the money works out, which I can, and then I'm gonna probably just dump a ton of picks and whatever prospects that aren't gonna be helpful. I'm gonna take those and dump them in. Okay, yeah, these picks aren't even gonna be picks because the thing is gonna be over before I can even pick them. So I'm putting 4 first in here. That's still not enough though. Damn. Okay. Let me put a little bit more in. I should definitely have... I don't have any prospects. Is this going to be doable? That is not doable. I can't even do that. I'm going to have to trade Melanchuric somewhere else. I guess I could just trade Melanchuric for a player. I got to go find a player now. I'm going to try and trade for Dallas Stamkos. It's still with Buffalo, so it's going to be the same type of deal, but hopefully this goes through. I don't know why they would think that pick is less valuable than this player, but 4 firsts... That's still not enough. Damn, I'm gonna have to find something else. I think my best move in the draft is actually just dumping cap and using that in free agency. And I also have to re-sign Brizgalov for at least 1 year. And I think that would be the right move. They're not gonna accept that? Okay, hang on. I'll just throw first in. Accept that. Brizgalov wants 17 mil. I'm gonna take it down as much as I can. Again, this is only there's only 1 year left, but I still need him. There's no better replacement. 15.2 for the last season. And that gives me a little bit of extra money still. I think I'm just going to have to head back to free agency because even Party is like, oh, never mind. He wants a cut. Never mind. He wants a cut. I will give it to him. Bringing everyone I can back except for Melanchuric. And then I'm going to see who I get in free agency. Free agency, we have a goalie. Seth Sylvester. Can't prove there's any relation, but I'm going to bring him up for my last season. He's going to be our goalie. As far as skaters, I've got almost $12 million. And I've got a choice on who I bring on board. I think it's going to be Joseph. Quincy Joseph, who wants just about that much. And he'd be a good fit on the wing. And that's the squad we're taking into our last season. That is the squad. Fuck. I skipped retirements. Okay, I can't see who retired anymore. The activity feed didn't go back far enough. But I think if I look at NHL, I mean... we'll look at that after. Let's play the last season. Here are the final lines. Donald, Tatar, Klimchuk. Klimchuk, of course, picked up where Sylvester left off. Won a Conn Smythe for us. We also have a Sylvester between the pipes. So hopefully those two, bring some firepower. This is our last season. On defense, Stevenson turned into a dog. That was a pretty good trade we pulled off. It's the last year of his contract. Hopefully things keep going well. I don't know. We certainly are getting to the end of the line. The pressure is on. The lights are bright. It's now or never. Our last season is coming to a close. Once again, winning 50-plus games. I believe that's a President's Trophy. We had like 120 points. Back on top. But can we stay on top and win where it counts? Our 4th cup in 5 years. Is it doable? We win 57 games. Across the entire league, we are the best team, winning 7 more games than second place. Tatar, we don't even have a single player put up 100 points. It don't matter. We got a winning mindset on this team. Actually, let's see across the league. People are putting up 130s. People are scoring 100 goals, 96 goals. Darius Bucinius still absolutely kicking. If we let this simulation keep going, he might end the greatest goal scorer of all time, but he's not going to pass Sylvester because this was his last chance, his last season. I think Sylvester had 1,200 goals, so not enough. But are we enough to get one more chip, one last dance, one final run? First, we have the Winnipeg Jets. Let's take this one series by series. First up is the Winnipeg Jets. Are they going to stop our last dance? No, they are not. A clean sweep in 4 games. And in round 2, we have the Chicago Blackhawks. Can we continue our dominance? There's only one way to find out. We lose game 1, but it looks like we're making a bit of a comeback in this series, and we took it in 5, I think. Next, we have the Avs, who have definitely had the better of us throughout this career, throughout this franchise. The Avs have beaten us time and time again, but will that be this time? Can we get the last laugh? We do win game 1 and 2 and oh my God, we clean sweep the Avs and have the Toronto Maple Leafs in round 4. Why did I call the finals round 4? The Stanley Cup finals, we are facing the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't think I've faced the Leafs in any finals before, and I'm not too certain who's even on the Leafs. We don't even have that many oh my God. We don't even have that many impressive performances on the team. That being said, we've only played 13 games because we've only lost 1. This is the last playoff series we are going to play, so I'm going to take it close, or take it slow and do the first 3, and we win all 3. Are we about to go 16-1 again and tie our own record for the best playoff run, single season playoff run in the history of the NHL? I think we are. First period, Tatar puts 1 in, Stevenson puts 1 in, and we're up 2-1. Second period, Dan Denault puts us up 3-1. And of course, the last cup we're going to win. I can't believe we did it. We've kind of scrambled together a dynasty at the very end. Huge clutch plays. Everything went right the moment I picked Sylvester back up. And it looks like, although Toronto does have a little bit of fight, we are going to lift the cup again. And I'm going to go in and watch it happen. I think the Leafs just got back within 1, but there's 2 minutes left in this game. And I'm going to close it out myself. We could seal the game, but I'm going to let the clock go. We've got full pressure, 20 seconds left. We don't need to score. We just need to keep the puck on our stick. And just as I say that, I lose the puck. The Leafs have one final chance, and Brzgalov gets the turnover. 7 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2. I shot the puck, and we're going to get a whistle at 0.2 seconds. Okay, bring out the Stanley Cup. I meant to do that. I wanted to see the cutscene. I want to see them bring it out in the Leafs' home barn. No Sellies tonight, because that's a clean sweep. 16 wins. 1 loss. What's that playoff record like? This is our 7th cup. 7 cups in 25 years. Not bad. 4 cups in 5 years. That's a dynasty. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it done. FestiveFruits Hockey Club is once again Stanley Cup champions. And for the first time officially, I'll say it officially, We are a dynasty. The handshakes are out. I gotta say, I have no idea who's gonna win this Conn Smythe. It's going to Turkunen. Turkunen gets it with 5 goals, 15 assists, 20 points in 17 games. He's a player I drafted. I was supposed to be part of my new first line. It didn't really work out. He's playing in the second line, but he picks up the Conn Smythe. So it's all worth it in the end. And here we have our final Stanley Cup. Tatar is our captain, lifting the cup, number 53. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all she wrote. It's done and done. The 25-year build of the Festive Hockey Club in Rochester is officially over. Franchise mode is now complete. Oh my God, I forgot. Oh shit, I forgot. It doesn't let you look at the record book at the last season. After you finish it, I thought I could still look at the man, you EA devs, you fucking suck, man. Are you kidding me? Dude, if I can't, oh my God, DuPont didn't retire, thank God. Okay, we can still check DuPont's stats. By the way, he played till he's 41, has still had 100 points. This is what I really wanted to look at, is DuPont's stats. As a defenseman, he scores 2,275 points, 16 Norris trophies. Landon DuPont, I think it's pretty safe to say, became the greatest defenseman of all time. Although in the postseason, we had a lot of success with him. Again, we did win 4 or 5 cups. Was that 5th one with DuPont? I think it was 5 cups with DuPont, but he wasn't the one that was pulling a lot of the weight. There was no Conn Smythe for him, although he did have some very impressive performances. I don't know why I'm trying to tank his career at all. He's very good. Greatest defenseman of all time. Played great for us. Won 5 cups with us. Rest in peace, Landon DuPont. Rest in peace, Festive Hockey Club. 8 Stanley Cups in 25 years. That's almost one every 4 years. While it's not the most impressive 25-year rebuild I've done, that's still a pretty good count. We had Macklin Celebrini score over 2,000 career points. Jimmy Sylvester became the greatest goal scorer of all time, and despite me snaking him, he came back to us to save our franchise and to help us become a dynasty at all. Not only him, but we had the greatest defenseman of all time, Landon DuPont, the all-time defensive point leader, who won 16 or 17 James Norris trophies, most of them consecutively. I came in with very lofty goals, and I don't think I met all of them. I don't know if we built the greatest dynasty of all time, but we built something. I made mistakes, I learned from them, and we won. In the end, what's there not to be happy about? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good day, and goodbye.